Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
And we are off to a chilly and foggy start this morning, too. You can really see that a little bit better in that bottom right camera right there with the bridge and the Batman building. But again, foggy start and chilly temperatures at or below freezing for some areas. Could be seeing some patchy freezing fog. I'll have more on all that here in just a bit.
And also happening right now on Fox 17 News this morning, evacuations in Kentucky as a train spills chemicals all over an area.
And how police are combating crime for Black Friday. All those details coming up.
All right, Kylie, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. I am Justin McFarland. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. It is a Thursday morning, Thanksgiving Day. But we're going to begin it with Code Red because we've got some freezing fog in the area that may not lift for the next few hours. Brett Luna in Today for Greg.
Yeah, Justin, you said it right there. Freezing fog is going to be a possibility for us as we head through really the next several hours. But once the sun rises, I think this is rapidly going to go away. So that is at least some good news, leaving us with a pretty nice rest of the day. Here we go, though. Everybody in that shade of turquoise color right there, that's that freezing fog advisory. That's going to go until 8 o'clock this morning, and that happens when you get those temperatures at or below freezing, those super cooled liquid water droplets in the air, the fog. Once they hit something, they can just instantly freeze on contact. So especially if you're going over any bridges or overpasses, just take it slower, be safe, be smart out there, and just be paying attention when you're driving early this morning. Right now, we have temperatures at or below freezing for some areas, a degree above it in Nashville, 33 right here, but out here around the plateau, upper 20s, lower 30s. We are seeing some dense fog over there right now. Everywhere in that shade of red, that's indicating visibilities of less than a fourth of a mile. So just especially if you're out further east, take it slow, be careful early this morning. I'll have more details for you on the rest of the forecast here in just a bit.
All right, thank you so much, Brett. Let's get to steer clear traffic out there this morning. Let's get started here at I-40 at Donaldson Pike as you make that drive out and about. This is, of course, very close to Nashville International Airport. We're fine out there this morning. No big problems for you. Last night, incredibly crowded over there at BNA. Traffic backed up for several miles. None of that here this morning. We'll see what today brings as we are expecting lighter than normal traffic around the city. We'll continue to keep you up to date. We are following breaking news this morning as evacuations are underway in Kentucky. This is following a train derailment. Now, CSX says that one of its train derailed yesterday afternoon. This happened in Rockcastle County, Kentucky. At least 15 of those train cars were involved, including 2 sulfur cars, which lost some of their contents. The Kentucky Emergency Management officials said that the towns of Livingston and Piney Branch are now under evacuation orders. The governor of Kentucky is Andy Beshear. He also declared a state of emergency in that particular county, so more resources could be applied to that response. A CSX crew member was treated for minor injuries, but no one else has been taken to the hospital. Let's talk about Operation Crime and Justice this morning as a man has died after Murfreesboro police say he tried to rob an armored truck at a restaurant. Police have identified that man as 44-year-old Stephen Murphy. Now, around 9 a.m. on just yesterday, Murfreesboro police got a 911 call about a man trying to rob an armored truck at an ATM. Police say that one of those truck workers pulled a weapon and then Murphy took off. They say Murphy went inside of the Jason's Deli nearby. Police say that when officers confronted him, they gave him several orders. He would not cooperate. It escalated when one officer fired a shot hitting Stephen Murphy. Now, the TBI says that they are looking into exactly how this escalated into a deadly shooting. They say it's up to the district attorney's office to determine if that officer's actions were justified. Black Friday is one of the most popular days of the year for shoppers, but it also comes with some concerns out there for crime as retail stores nationwide are being targeted. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker joins us live this morning, very close to the Tanger outlets in Antioch, which is closed today, but Metro Police will enhance their presence coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, and this outlet has been under a scope in recent weeks. As we reported earlier this week, Monday, that this location has been responded to by police, or calls have been made to police around 70 times, and it's only been open for a month since its grand opening. We want to show you, though, some video from the Tanger outlet malls where we're already seeing this happening here in Antioch. Now, it prompted additional patrols and enhanced security, but for Black Friday and through the holiday weekend, the Metro Nashville Police Department says officers will be on foot, horseback, and even in the air, where helicopter crews will immediately radio anything concerning on the ground. Now, MNPD won't just be enhancing their presence at this outlet mall, it will also be at Opry Mills and Green Hills Mall as well. We'll continue to have updates for you guys, and we will be covering Black Friday. For now in Antioch, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Kylie, thank you so much. Well, we have got a list of all the stores open for Black Friday, as well as their hours. It's all on our website. Just go to fox17.com. Well, coming up, a Tennessee congressman has introduced a bill that aims to protect people from punishment for refusing to use someone's preferred pronouns. We're going to dive deeper into that. Plus, Brett Luna is here for Greg today, and he's going to tell us about the fog that we're seeing out there. And it's not just normal fog. Brett says it's freezing fog. It's a little bit, the potential. So we're down to 33 degrees here in Nashville. I'll learn more about it during the commercial. Thanks for watching Fox 17 News this morning.
Tracks.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning at 4:09. Tennessee Congressman Andy Ogles is now co-sponsoring a bill in Congress to keep federal agencies from punishing people or states, like the state of Tennessee, for not using an individual's preferred pronouns. It's called the Safeguarding Honest Speech Act, and it affects pronouns and nicknames. Now, if passed, violators could pay damages of up to $100,000. Clarksville police say that a woman was hit by a car overnight, and that woman has now died. Police say that the whole thing happened on Fort Campbell Boulevard at Concord Drive around 7 p.m. Multiple lanes were shut down but have since reopened. The name of the victim has not yet been released. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. If you know anything or have video of the actual crash itself, you're asked to call the number right there on your screen so you can talk with the Clarksville Police Department. Metro Police are asking for your help identifying a woman who they say went on an illegal shopping spree at several area Target stores. Police say that the woman stole a credit card from a man who was staying downtown and used it to buy several grand worth of credit cards, or gift cards in this case. Now, police claim that the woman waited until the victim fell asleep, then took his watch and wallet. Officers say that she made purchases at several Target stores. Let's get to Brett Luna right now so we can talk about this potential, Brett, for freezing fog.
That's right, Justin, and that is why we are code red. There is that potential for some freezing fog to develop early this morning. The good news, though, once the sun comes up, I think we're rapidly going to lose this chance for any of this freezing fog. But as it stands right now, all of Middle Tennessee, highlighted in that shade of turquoise color, freezing fog advisory. That's going to go until 8 a.m. So we could even see a little bit of ice develop. Those super cooled liquid water droplets, whenever they impact something, it could freeze on contact. So if you're having to travel over any bridges or overpasses this morning especially, just be safe out there, be careful, and be smart. Temperatures right now in the upper 20s, lower 30s for a lot of spots, 30 in McMinnville, 28 the current temperature down in Tullahoma. So we are seeing temperatures below freezing for some of those spots, especially out east. And here's what our current fog situation is looking like. Some of the thickest fog that we have, that is also out east. Everybody highlighted in that shade of red. Visibility within those areas, less than 1/4 of a mile. We'll get you that 7-day forecast and our next rain chance in just a bit.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get a good look, if we can, at that freezing fog in action. There it is there, or the potential at least. On I-40 at Dallas and Pike, you can see that fog in the air on some of those lights there at BNA. So heads up in that area as you get out and about. Please understand that the fog can happen suddenly and can leave a huge impact on your day if you're not careful. But no traffic tie-ups to tell you about so far this morning. Same can be said at I-24 near the Tanger outlets out there in Antioch. We'll continue to watch those roads for you. Well, coming up, hit singer Jelly Roll realized he was missing a big part of his Thanksgiving dinner, so he went to TikTok for some help. We've got more coming up with Megan O'Halloran in just a few minutes. Plus, Britt Luna will be back to tell you more about the potential for freezing fog. That's why we've gone code red here on your Thanksgiving morning. Watch. 4:14 is the time here on your Thursday morning, Thanksgiving morning. You're taking a live look there from downtown Nashville. You can see the fog there in the backdrop. The fog is the reason why we've gone code red, not just because it's foggy, but because there's the potential for it to freeze on contact when you're driving through it. So please be aware. Right now, though, we're doing okay. Brett Luna will have the very latest on how long the fog will last coming up here in the next few minutes. We are following some developing news out of New York City. This is where authorities say an explosion near the Niagara Falls area was not an act of terror. And I should correct myself. This is not near New York City. This is upstate New York there. As video shows, look at that. A car going airborne at the United States-Canadian border before crashing and exploding right there. The Customs and Border Patrol officer was taken to the hospital with minor injuries and later released. The New York governor, Kathy Hochul, says there's no evidence that this explosion was a terrorist attack. Amazing video there. All right. Last minute Thanksgiving shopping scramble turned into a trending moment for country music sensation Jelly Roll. As restaurants and shops started to shut down for the holiday, Jelly Roll posted a desperate plea on TikTok saying that he forgot to order a Thanksgiving meal side from one of his favorite Nashville restaurants. Fox 17 News' Megan O'Halloran has the story about how Jelly Roll is giving thanks for a whole new reason.
All right, y'all, I f***ed up and I need your help. I'm a husband, so I did what husbands do. I told my wife I would take care of the dressing because I wanted it from my favorite restaurant. And then I waited until the day before Thanksgiving to call for the dressing. I can't get nobody on the phone for the dressing.
Jelly Roll, in a bit of a pinch before Thanksgiving, resorted to TikTok to track down his favorite restaurant and offered to pay a generous price.
We need help. Please, if you have a contact at Bars Music City Soul Food in Nashville, it's the best dressing ever. Tell that lady I will give her $1,000 for 2 pans of Bars Music City Soul Food dressing for my family on Thanksgiving. Somebody in Nashville knows this lady. Please help me.
After that, the comments came pouring in. Pirate Baby writes, "Y'all, Bunny is gonna hurt this man if he doesn't bring the dressing. Save Jelly, find the dressing." Another fan, Lucas, said, "This is a reminder of how poor I am. $1,000 for some dressing, more like $0, and I'm stressing." Melody Rather said, "I'll make you 2 pans. I'm in Murfreesboro. I can even deliver." It didn't take long for Bars Music City Soul Food to get the message.
The phone has been jumping off. We've had over 200 calls, people calling in from all over the country. My motto is, if they come to that door, I don't want to tell them no. No matter who it is.
Dude, I can't wait to try it.
Absolutely, you're gonna love it.
Jelly Roll sent his main man Boston in to pick up the order, along with this message.
Yo, tell Fox 17 I'm sorry. Tell the Bars family I'm sorry I didn't come pick it up myself. I'm in the studio. I'm recording right now. Thanksgiving Eve, baby, working to make this dream come true.
Megan O'Halloran, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Wow. Okay. All thanks to the power of celebrity and, of course, social media. Many of the fans that called in yesterday said that they plan to stop and try out some of that Music City soul food the next time they come into Nashville. I wonder if they'll have any more dressing after all of this is done. Are you dressing or stuffing, Brad?
I'm dressing. I love it.
You're dressing all day? Nothing wrong with that.
No. What about you? What are you?
I can go either way. I grew up in the South and the Midwest, so it changes based on household, but it's all the same. Well, it's not. I know it's not the same. let me stop. I know there's a difference, but it really serves the same purpose though. So it's all good. It's Thanksgiving.
It's
Give
all
thanks.
good.
Be thankful. Don't create division.
I hear you on that. I agree. Well, hey, Justin, we are code red this morning. I've heard you talking about it. I've been talking about it. And it is because of this fog. And like you've been saying this morning, just not any irregular old ordinary fog. There's the potential some of this could actually be freezing on contact. So we do have that freezing fog advisory in effect. This is going to remain with us until 8 a.m. But the good news, once the sun comes up, I think we're going to really quickly lose that chance for any more freezing fog to develop. So good news there. And the rest of your Thanksgiving looking pretty good. But that is going to stick with us until 8 a.m., that advisory at least. So with this patchy freezing fog, basically you have these tiny super cooled water droplets, the fog. Once they make contact with something, they freeze instantly on it. So that could lead to some slick spots. If you have to travel over any bridges or overpasses especially, just take it a little bit more slowly out there. Be safe, be smart when you're having to get out on the roads early this morning. Temperatures right now at or below freezing, so we could see that, especially out further east, 28 degrees in Tullahoma. Nashville, we are a degree above freezing still. Dense fog, it looks like, right here on our fog tracker for areas further east. 1/4 mile visibility possible for all those areas into that shade of red. That's where the thickest of the fog is setting up right now. No rain for us to worry about. As we head through the next few days, it's still not going to bring in a rain chance. No pause points on future track until we hit early Sunday morning. We could start to bring in a chance for some showers. That's going to move on out of here pretty quickly though, and really just some light rainfall. Not expecting anything too much that you're going to have to worry about for that rain chance on a Sunday. Really some beneficial rain because we need the rain, and we're going to get a little bit more on a Sunday at least. 7-day forecast for you really quick. 58 degrees on Friday, mid-50s Saturday, lower 50s our high temperature on Sunday. Then we're down to the 40s Monday and Tuesday.
Clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get to Briley Parkway, Centennial Boulevard. That is where we have got those very, very foggy conditions out there. And please be advised when you're driving through something like this, not only is the visibility difficult, but the terrain can be difficult as well because some of that freezing fog can freeze on the road, creating icy conditions very quickly. So please keep that in mind as you get out and about this morning. No major crashes to tell you about right now. Just this freezing fog, or at least the potential thereof, is the biggest traffic hurdle of the morning so far. A panel of Tennessee judges has now ruled that Tennessee's Senate district map is unconstitutional. They have issued a ruling saying that the Republican-drawn map violates the state constitution because the 4 districts in the left-leaning Nashville area are not numbered correctly. So this is what we're talking about. You can see right here on the screen the number 18 back here, right up here in this area. The number 18 that affects this year's Senate seats that are on the ballot, moving them to elections with higher or lower voter turnout. The state Senate has until January 31st to come up with a brand new map to fix these issues and try to realign the Davidson County area. And perhaps some of these folks here in the middle or other sides may have to campaign in a new way because they may have new constituents. Well, Metro Police have made another arrest in connection with a recent string of so-called street takeovers. We're going to break down the charges that a suspect is now facing. Plus, Brett Luna will be back to tell us about the code red weather alert this morning. Some of that fog out there could be rough, could be freezing, causing difficult driving conditions. We'll be right back. 4:24 is the time. In Operation Crime and Justice, an accused leader of a street racing group has now turned himself in to Metro Police. They say it was 21-year-old Isaiah Miller, who's now charged with inciting a riot. He's accused of co-hosting several street takeovers. Austin Scott is now charged in this case as well. Police arrested Scott a few days ago. Let's talk about some entertainment news. Say it isn't so. Daryl Hall has filed a lawsuit against his former bandmate, John Oates. You know, Hall and Oates? Hall filed a lawsuit last week in a Nashville court. The two musicians are the famous members of the rock and roll duo Hall & Oates. They had tremendous success back in the early 1980s with hits like Private Eyes and Man-Eater. Man, Man-Eater was a big one. The suit against Oates as an individual and the Oates Trust is listed as a contract dispute, but the details of the case are sealed for now. On Friday, a court granted Hall a motion for a temporary restraining order to take effect on November the 30th. There's no word from reps on either side of this debate. This will take it to court. Brent Luna standing by. He's going to take us to weather.
Justin, the big story for us today, and it's also why we are code red, it is chilly and we have some fog, and that creates the possibility for some freezing fog. Temperature still a degree above freezing here in Nashville, 33 degrees here, 34 in Dickson, but out east where we're seeing some of the thickest fog, that's where we have temperatures in the upper 20s and lower 30s. So we could be seeing some freezing fog out that direction. Everybody that's in that shade of red, visibility within that area, less than about a fourth of a mile or so, less than a half a mile in that shade of orange. So just be sure to take it slow out there, especially if you're traveling over any bridges or overpasses. You could get a very thin layer of ice on that due to that freezing fog. So just be paying attention, be smart out there if you're on the roads early this Thanksgiving morning. Today, though, once we get past this freezing fog chance, this Thanksgiving shaping up to be pretty calm and quiet. 57 degrees for us. Our average high is 59, so just a couple of degrees below normal. And then as we head on into the weekend, temperatures start to drop down to the mid and lower 50s, upper 40s for us as we head on into early next week. The next rain chance will come Sunday. We're going to be dry before that, and then we're going to be dry for several days after that as well.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get you out on the roads. This is going to be I-40 at Dawson Pike. As you make that drive through the airport area, you can see where traffic is moving along. However, it is somewhat concerning about what's in the air. You can see some of that fog forming there right over the lights of B&A. It's not as bad as it is over on the west side of town. This is Bradley Parkway, and it looks like this basically across all of the west side of Bradley Parkway, from Centennial Boulevard to Ashland City Highway, all the way up around Clarksville Pike. Extremely foggy conditions over on the west side, but no crashes so far this morning. Well, how much longer will that fog stick with us? Brent Luna will have an update for us when we come back. Also about your Thanksgiving weather out there. Are you going to need a sweater, a jacket? Can you eat outside? Brent's got the answer for you.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
It's a cold start for us this morning, also a little bit of a foggy start. You heard Justin saying it just a minute ago. Thicker fog over on the west side of town here at Nashville. Could be seeing temperatures at or below freezing across a lot of Middle Tennessee. We have freezing fog advisories in effect. I'll have more on that in just a bit.
Plus, a Nashville man is now searching for a woman who hit him with her car and then drove away. We're going to tell you about the side effects that are bringing an online community together. Plus, we are watching the traffic out there, and it is extremely foggy, especially over on the west side. That is what Brett was just telling us about. We're going to tell you about its impact on your drive coming up in a few. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning, and happy Thanksgiving. I'm Justin McFarland. We're going to begin because we've gone code red here in the studio, and that code red is related to the foggy conditions outside. Brent Luna in today for Greg.
Exactly right, Justin. Couple that the fog with these temperatures at or below freezing across Middle Tennessee, and that leaves us with the potential for actually some freezing fog, and we could see a little bit of black ice develop. I'll show you that here in just a second, but this is going to go until 8 a.m. Once the sun comes up, I think that's really going to help the situation, and we're not going to have to deal with it a whole lot longer after that. And the rest of your Thanksgiving, honestly, looking pretty good. So basically what happens is you get the fog, you have those tiny super cooled water droplets in the air, and once these hit something, it could instantly freeze on a contact. So if you have to travel over any bridges or overpasses early this morning, especially those two, just be sure to take it slow, play it safe out there. Just be smart when you're out on the roads early this morning, because you could run into a few slick spots. Temperatures at or below freezing for a lot of areas. We have lower 30s and upper 20s down here around the plateau, and that's where we are seeing some of the thickest fog this morning. 33 degrees, so a degree above freezing right here in Nashville. The current fog fog situation. Still, we're seeing that on the west side of town here in Nashville. Visibility's down to about a mile or a half mile or so in that shade of yellow. Over here further to the east and also in our southwestern counties now too, where you see those shades of red, visibility dropping down to about a fourth of a mile. And we do have those temperatures that are close to freezing too. So just be very careful, especially if you're out in those areas. No rain for us right now. We're going to stay dry as we head through the rest of the day. Overall, the next few days we are going to get a little bit cooler too. Highs dropping down to the 40s by early next week.
Still clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get you going over on I-40 at Dulles and Pike. As you make that drive out there, things are moving along just fine. However, we're watching the fog in the air, and in some cases the fog right there at ground level, like what you're experiencing here at Briley Parkway, Ashland City Highway. Very, very foggy conditions over on the west side of town, and it looks like this for a good stretch of the road over there on Briley Parkway, anywhere between Clarksville Pike all the way down to Wright Bridge Road, essentially. They've got very, very foggy conditions like the ones you're seeing right there on your screen. So heads up, but so far, no crashes this morning. In Operation Crime and Justice, a Nashville man is taking his bone-crushing hit and run case to social media. He lost a shoulder and an arm after being hit by a car who didn't even stop. Now, Metro Police say they still have not found, and watch this video. It could be a little graphic here, depending on what they are showing, but they have not found the person who hit Shane Johns back on August the 5th. They say Johns was riding a motorcycle in Hermitage when a woman in a gold SUV hit him and then sped off. Now, his shoulder and arm had to be removed. No leads on a suspect yet. Johns took to social media to share his story in hopes of finding out who hit him. He says he's getting a prosthetic. A prosthetic is now far out of reach at the time.
But I don't have a shoulder or an arm. So since I'm missing a shoulder, I have to have a coupling. So mine will be over $100,000.
$100,000 for that. Now, John adds he also has to pay the thousands of dollars worth of medical bills that he has racked up since this crash. Now, Johns has a full GoFundMe page up and going on his social media platforms like One Arms Seeker. You can also find the link on our website at fox17.com. Well, the city is trying to grapple with the uptick in crimes, especially at malls and shopping centers. The Metro Police Department says they will enhance their presence, especially for Black Friday. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker live out there at the Tanger outlets, very close to it anyway, over there in Antioch, with more on what's being done.
Police will be on foot, on horseback, and even in the air patrolling this outlet mall through the weekend, along with Green Hills and Opry Hills Mall as well. Now, if you recall, at Green Hills Mall, there has been organized crime theft in recent months, where thieves stole tens of thousands of dollars in merchandise from high-end retail stores like Louis Vuitton and Nordstrom. While Tanger outlets in Antioch also targeted, with police being called to the location around 70 times in its first month of being open. It's a frustrating reality to so many shoppers, workers, and locals.
It's so unfortunate. Like, they say we want more things in Nashville, we want to bring more things to Antioch, but when we bring things, we can't have nice things because people just take away from it.
And we will be here covering all the Black Friday events that go on for tomorrow. Of course, if anything breaking happens, we will let you guys know, both on air and our streaming platforms. For now, live in Antioch, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Nashville's Department of Transportation is expanding. We are talking about more meters, more paid hours, more tickets, and more towing. Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier is revealing the rapid expansion and what it means for those living in Music City. That includes for the toll policy that some people say is unfair.
When I see something that is confusing, that's causing me and my little tiny community up here some issues, I want answers.
So what's the solution to this? Well, Fox 17 News investigates what answers were being given from the city. That's coming up on Sunday night at 9. Abortion is expected to be a key issue in next year's elections. We're going to tell you how each party is hoping to use the topic to win over voters. Plus, Brent Luna has got the very latest on your forecast when we come back, as we've got that fog moving across parts of the mid-state. He's going to tell us how long it'll stick around when we come back.
Know about severe weather before?
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. That's a live look there at the area around downtown Nashville that is being covered by some fog. Brett Luna has been telling us about the potential for this to be freezing fog in certain areas. As you can see, some of those temperatures on your screen. I don't think it's quite zero in Clarksville. I don't think it's that cold. But it is in the 30s across most parts of the mid-state. We're missing the 3 in Clarksville. We'll look for that coming up in a few. Abortion is set to be a major issue in the 2024 elections, as a brand new research report shows that support for abortions is at a record high level in several states. Now, according to the Wall Street Journal, a poll of more than half of the respondents said that a pregnant woman should be able to get a legal abortion for any reason. Since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, voters in 7 states have rejected attempts to restrict abortion rights. So far, Republican candidates are now searching for a strategy to win over moderates without alienating pro-life voters. Democrats are hoping to use the issue as a way to energize voters. We'll see if it works. The iconic Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and their balloons and floats came to life just yesterday. The parade will be always a big spectacle up there. 16 giant character balloons, including the Ronald McDonald balloon, SpongeBob SquarePants, you know, the usual suspects. They'll be floating across the area there in Manhattan, including a lot of performances and notable celebrity appearances are all going to happen there as well. It's the 97th Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Starts a little bit later in the morning. Let's talk to Brett Luna. He is watching the fog in the air, not balloons.
That's right, Justin. Fog is the big story for us today. That's also why we are starting out code red this morning. We had that freezing fog advisory, and this is going to be in effect for all of Middle Tennessee. This is going to go until 8 a.m. So when you get those liquid water droplets in the air, they're going to be super cooled, and when they come into contact with anything, they could freeze instantly. So especially if you have to travel over any bridges or overpasses, just be smart out there this morning. Pay attention to what you're doing, and try to take it a little bit more slowly too, especially over those. Temperatures at or below freezing for a lot of Middle Tennessee right now. We're now down to 32 degrees right here in Nashville. Some of the lowest temperatures out a little bit further to the east. They're now in the lower 30s. Also our southwestern counties with temperatures below freezing as well. And that's where we're seeing some of the thickest fog set up. Everywhere where you see that shade of red, especially out east, visibility in those areas less than 1/4 of a mile. Once this clears out though, and I think it should clear very quickly after the sun comes up, it's going to leave us with a really nice day today. Your Thanksgiving looking pretty good, just a little cool, lower 50s as we head through the afternoon.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get to the Briley Parkway at Ashland City Highway area. This is that area over in West Nashville that is extremely foggy. We're sharing with you some of the pictures from over there from overnight. It's hard to see in many of those locations, and keep in mind some of this fog could be a little hazardous to that drive, and it's basically all of the western part of Briley Parkway from Ashland City Highway, including Whites Creek Pike, Clarksville Pike, all the way down to White Bridge Road. Heads up, no major crashes though. We'll continue to watch it for you. Well, after a series of disappointments on the road, the Tennessee Titans are coming home this weekend. We're going to tell you about the goals for the big game that you can watch right here on Fox 17, by the way. Plus, Brett Luna will be back with another look at your forecast. It's not just a freezing fog, it's just freezing in some areas with no fog. He's going to tell us when the freeze will lift, coming up in a few.
Fox 17 News.
4:45 here on this Thanksgiving Day after being on the road for nearly a month. The Tennessee Titans finally returned home. Coming up on Sunday, they're going to host the Carolina Panthers, including their first overall pick, Bryce Young, at quarterback for them. The Titans are undefeated at home, and a big reason why? Well, Derrick Henry, of course, who loves playing in front of the home crowd. Fox 17 News' Joe Jelnick has more on the Titans' ground game.
The Tennessee Titans struggled to get their run game going in their loss to the Jaguars, and running back Derrick Henry put the blame on himself. The veteran saying, "It's my fault. I need to be more efficient, specifically create more explosive plays when the ball is in my hands." Good news is the Carolina Panthers come into Nissan Stadium Sunday with one of the worst rush defenses in the league, giving up nearly 130 rushing yards per game. The key to taking advantage of that? Stopping two of their game changers, outside linebacker Brian Burns and defensive tackle Derek Brown.
But the touches I get, just be more effective, be more efficient in those plays when the ball's in my hands, and trying to create explosives in any way possible. But I think efficiency has been my main focus.
Find ways to make sure we get 0-95 blocked. Those are two disruptive players, probably as disruptive as we've seen. We got to make sure we're doing a good job taking care of those two up front. And if we do that, we're going to have an opportunity to get Derrick rolling.
Sunday's game will also be a battle of two rookie quarterbacks. Panthers quarterback Bryce Young was the #1 overall pick in this year's draft, with Will Levis coming shortly after him in the second round at number 33 overall.
He's a heck of a quarterback. It was really fun watching him, comparing myself to the other quarterbacks in the draft class. And he did some great things on Saturdays. He's been doing some great things on Sundays.
I got to spend time with him last year during the House commercial. Got to know him a little bit, and just talk to him. Happy for his success, and hopefully he don't have much this Sunday.
It's worth noting that Levis has been on the injury report. He was not at Tuesday's walkthrough. However, he was back at practice on Wednesday with the team, so a good sign. The Titans will have Thanksgiving Day off, get right back to work first thing on Friday. Reporting from the Titans practice facility, Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Jill. 4:47 is the time. We are looking ahead to a jammed-packed holiday weekend when it comes to sports right here on Fox 17. Later today, we're going to lead off with some women's college basketball. We're going to have the Tennessee Lady Volunteers taking on Indiana. Looking forward to that game. Then on Saturday, we've got a college football triple header as we're going to kick things off with something they're calling the game. It's just the game. Ohio State, it's Michigan. It's Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. And then on Sunday, Fox 17 News is your home for the Tennessee Titans. They take on the Carolina Panthers. That game at Nissan Stadium starts at noon. So we're asking you, which one of these games are you most excited to watch? According to our latest poll, you can see right there, Ohio State and Michigan, the matchup of two undefeated teams out of the Big Ten, is the #1 game people are looking forward to seeing at 60% compared to the Titans and Panthers in second place and the Lady Vols in Indiana in last place. But, listen, it's November. The hoop season is just getting started. Of course, we'll continue to keep you up to date. And if you want to chime in for yourself, you can do so at Fox Nashville. Let's talk to Brett Luna now. He's standing by with a look at the forecast. And we were watching the fog overhead and wondering if it's going to float down, make an impact on the drive.
Yeah, Justin, when I was coming into work this morning, it was pretty thick. And, the billboards, too, over the interstate, you could see it. The freezing fog potential, so just take it slowly, all that. So they had that covered. Good job. And we do have freezing fog advisories in effect for nearly all of Middle Tennessee, basically all of Middle Tennessee right now. And these are going to go until 8 o'clock this morning. But once the sun comes up, that is really going to help things out. And it's going to help it out pretty quickly, too. So this is not going to last a whole lot longer for us. But if you do have to get out this morning, just be very careful if you're driving out there on the roads. Again, that's going to go until 8 a.m., that freezing fog advisory. So basically what happens is you have these tiny super cooled liquid water droplets that are in the air, the fog, and that can freeze instantly once it makes contact with something, especially around bridges or overpasses that could create a slick surface. So just be very safe. be careful. Just be smart out there when you're driving early this morning. Temperatures right at freezing here in Nashville, at or below freezing for a lot of us, especially out a little bit further to the east. We were seeing some of those temperatures in the upper 20s. We're now down into the lower 30s. So we have seen those temperatures bump up just a little bit, but that is where we are still seeing some of that thickest fog too. Seeing a little bit on the west side of town here in Nashville, but especially out east in our southern counties, anywhere in that shade of red, visibility is less than 1/4 of a mile. That shade of orange, visibility less than 1/2 a mile. So combine that with those freezing temperatures, you could be getting a little bit of freezing fog, especially out in those areas. Radar not showing any sort of rainfall right now, so that's some good news. Not having to deal with any rain, and we're going to keep it dry as we head through the next several days too. The next rain chance, that's not going to come into play until Sunday morning, and that could stick around with us through the morning hours on into the early afternoon, but not expecting anything too bad for us on a Sunday. In fact, most of that rain, it should stay fairly light too. Thanksgiving today looking pretty good. Low to mid 50s as we head throughout the day. 57 our high temperature this afternoon. 58 on Friday. We're down to the upper 40s Monday and Tuesday.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get started here at Briley Parkway, County Hospital Road. This is over there on the west side. Extremely foggy there, over there on that particular side of the road, and over on that side of town, really. Let me show it to you right here. It's on Briley Parkway everywhere between, say, Whites Creek Pike all the way down to White Bridge Road is extremely foggy. So if you're making your way through there, please watch out for that. There are other areas that are foggy, but this is the one we can really highlight for you on our cameras so far this morning. The good news is no crashes so far on this Thanksgiving Day. Well, targeted ads might be finding you at 30,000 feet, according to the Wall Street Journal. United Airlines might start using its passengers' information to help brand serve targets to those customers. Now, some of the personalized ads could appear on the United seatback screens or on the app that people use to book the tickets and check in. Now, so far, no confirmation from United has been confirmed on this particular decision. Making turkey for Thanksgiving dinner can be a big responsibility. That's why the CDC has a few refresher tips, little advice on how you can cook the bird properly. The CDC says to avoid rinsing or washing the turkey before cooking it. They also say washing raw turkey can spread germs to other foods. If you're thinking about leaving the turkey out to thaw on the kitchen counter, and listen, it's Thanksgiving Day, so maybe a little late for that, but the CDC says don't, because certain temperatures in the bacteria can actually grow, making it unsafe to eat. Make sure that you wash all dishes and utensils that touch that raw turkey, as well as using different cutting boards as well. Don't forget to check if your turkey is cooked properly. The center must reach 165 degrees so that it can be safe to eat. Take a look at this. Some of the lemurs at the Illinois Zoo are celebrating the holiday season. We're going to take a closer look at their Thanksgiving feast. Plus, Fox 17 News is in a code red weather alert for you this morning. Before you can feast, you got to fight through the fog. Brett Luna has got the very latest on that when we come back.
Watch Fox 17 News at
4:55 is the time. Let's take a look at a crash we are following. Just picked it up. I-40 and I-65. TDOT readjusting their cameras, but you can see at least one car has lost control. It hit a barrier. There's an 18-wheeler behind it. Police have not even arrived as of yet, so we'll wait and see what happens when they get there. When they do, they're going to shut down at least one lane there on I-40 and I-65. Again, this is over on the south loop of town. Let's see. So that would be very close to 2nd and 4th Avenue. Just trying to place it there for you. 2nd and 4th Avenue. You can see them in that car just trying to get some of the debris out of the street. We'll let you know when police get there and exactly what you can do to steer clear in the next few minutes. In the meantime, let's get to Brett. He's got a look at the freezing fog potential.
And yeah, if you do have to get out on the roads early this morning, just play it safe, take it a little bit more slowly out there, pay attention, and just be smart, because we do have freezing fog advisories in effect, and these are going to be for everybody in that turquoise color. These are going to run until 8 a.m., but once the sun comes up, I think this is going to rapidly get better. We're not going to have to worry about this for a whole lot longer, but in the meantime, a little bit of thin ice is going to be possible. We have these temperatures at or below freezing. Those liquid water droplets are super cooled, so they're going to freeze on contact with anything they come into contact with. So if you have to travel, if you're going over any bridges or overpasses, just play it safe, take it a little bit more slowly, pay attention out there. We're at freezing in Nashville, 32 degrees, lower 30s still out further to the east. 36 degrees down in Lewisburg, and we're still seeing a lot of those numbers in the lower 30s this morning. Still some fairly thick fog out east. It looks like it has started to get a little bit better, but still visibility is less than half a mile down there in Wayne, Lawrence, Giles County. We have thick red over here, so that's indicating dense fog, a fourth of a mile or less visibility. 57 degrees our high today. Once we get through the fog, it's going to shape up to be a good Thanksgiving for you. More details coming up on your 7-day forecast in just a bit.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get to I-40 and I-65. You can see police have now, well, no, this is not the police department. We thought maybe the police department would start to get there here, get there on that scene. We do have that crash involving an 18-wheeler as well as a car that has hit the barrier right there at I-40 and I-65 at the South Loop. There is the Metro Police Department arriving right there. This is just as you enter the city, right before the split there between 65 and 40. Looks like one lane is going to be shut down, at least for the next little bit. Doesn't look like anyone severely hurt, but again, this is something that just popped up over the last few moments here, and we were watching first responders get to the scene. We saw some people out and about walking around, though, a few moments ago, so it looks like it could be a minor delay there while they get this out of the way. We'll continue to keep you up to date about what they find. Well, Thanksgiving came early for some residents at the Brookfield Zoo. That's just north of Chicago. Yesterday, staff at that particular zoo provided Thanksgiving meals for its 2 ring-tailed lemurs. Now, the food was inspired by a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, which aired for the very first time 50 years ago. The lemurs snacked on popcorn, toast, jelly beans, pretzel sticks, pies, and apple juice. That's what Charlie Brown had because of a whole series of events that took place in that cartoon series. So I'm glad the lemurs enjoyed. Hope my plate will be a little better than that today. Small businesses are gearing up for some of their biggest shopping weekends of the holiday season starting here this weekend. While the retail giants like Amazon and Walmart are hoping for big profits on Black Friday, Small Business Saturday is looking to continue a winning streak they've had. According to the new American Express survey of small business owners, 55% anticipate the day will make a big contribution to their overall holiday sales this year. Over the past 13 years, the company says consumers have spent nearly $184 billion during Small Business Saturday. So I know there's a lot of small businesses that are looking forward to this. The Square up there in Franklin, I know this is one of their biggest days of the year. They're full of small businesses up that direction. Our 5 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
It is a cool and a foggy start this morning, especially up there on that top left camera. You can see some of that fog, and we're going to see this fog develop more so around bodies of water. Freezing fog is a possibility as we head through the next few hours. I'll break all that down here in just a bit.
We are also watching a train spill this morning as evacuations in Kentucky continue on. The chemicals that came out of that train will let you know what they found.
And with Black Friday right around the corner, we'll see how police are going to be tackling crime.
All right. Thank you so much, Kylie. And thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning, just after 5 a.m. here on this Thursday morning, Thanksgiving Day. I'm Justin McFarland. Jennifer Waddell has the day off, and we're thankful for you joining us here each and every day. Let's get to Brett Luna. We started in a cold red this morning. That's because of fog that is outside your window right now.
Exactly right, Justin. And we could be seeing a little bit of potential freezing fog going on as well. So because of that, the National Weather Service went ahead last night, issued these freezing fog advisories. These are going to stick around until 8 o'clock this morning. But once the sun comes up, I think we're really going to start to see conditions improve very quickly, leaving us with a pretty nice rest of your Thanksgiving. So what happens is when we have these temperatures at or below freezing, there's those tiny super cooled liquid water droplets that are going to freeze on contact. So that could lead to some isolated slick spots for you on especially bridges and overpasses. So if you do have to get out this morning, just take it slowly and be safe out there. Temperatures in the lower 30s for a lot of us. So just around freezing or slightly below it. We are going to warm up a little bit better as we head on through the rest of the day, though the thickest fog out here further to the east. More details coming up for you on everything else in just a bit.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning takes us over to I-40 and I-65. This is at the South Loop, not too far away from 2nd and 4th Avenue, close to Broadway. You can see the fire department has arrived. Also, an ambulance looks like it's arrived as well. We had one car that crashed into a barrier. Looks like there was an 18-wheeler there earlier, but the 18-wheeler may have just witnessed the accident and not been involved in it. And that's why it's probably not there anymore at the scene. We saw several people out and about walking around, but this is going to clog your way. If you're making your way into the city there from the west side, if you plan on going through, maybe towards the airport, this could block your drive a little bit. Lanes are open on both sides. You can't get by. It is not causing major backups, just something for you to be aware of as you get out and about. We're also continuing to watch the fog. This is Bradley Parkway at County Hospital Road. There is nothing wrong with your screen. This is just the fog, very thick outside, especially over on the western part of Bradley Parkway. We are following breaking news this morning as evacuations are underway in the state of Kentucky. This is following a train derailment. CSX says that one of its trains derailed yesterday afternoon in Rockcastle County. At least 15 cars of that train were involved, including 2 sulfur cars, which lost some of its content. Now, the Kentucky emergency management officials say that the towns of Livingston and Piney Branch are now under evacuation orders. Kentucky's Governor Andy Beshear also declared a state of emergency in those particular counties, so more resources could be applied to that response. A CSX crew member was treated for minor injuries, but no one else has been sent to the hospital. Well, to kick off your Thursday Thanksgiving morning, here are the top 3 things that you need to know to start your day. We're going to start with this amazing video from upstate New York. It shows the moment when a vehicle crashed into a security booth near Niagara Falls yesterday. A large fireball, you just saw it a few moments ago, can be seen seconds after that crash. Authorities say 2 people inside that vehicle were killed when that explosion happened. Investigators are working to determine if this crash was intentional or just an accident. The governor of New York says she does not believe that terrorism was involved. A U.S. warship shot down attack drones over the Red Sea this morning. The United States Central Command said that the USS Thomas Hunter fired on multiple one-way attack drones launched over in Yemen. Now, the drones were reportedly shot down while on patrol. Officers say there were no injuries or damage done to the ship. This is coming as tensions have increased over in the Red Sea region since the start of the Israel-Hamas conflict. Speaking of that, the prime minister there of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, is now vowing to resume Israel's offensive there in Gaza as soon as the truce ends. Now, he is making these comments as world leaders are urging Israel and Hamas to extend the truce into a lasting ceasefire. As it stands, the deal includes the release of 50 hostages for Palestinian prisoners, and for every 10 additional hostages released, Israel will extend the humanitarian pause by at least 1 day. Let's bring it all the way back here to Nashville, as Black Friday is one of the most popular days of the year for shoppers, but it also comes with concerns for retail crime, as it's been going on across the country, and Nashville has been no exception. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker live for us this morning, telling us exactly what authorities have planned at the Tanger outlets in Antioch, as well as Green Hills Mall and other locations.
Hey, good morning, Justin. Yeah, this outlet mall has been under a scope as police say that they've responded, or at least had calls made, at least 70 times in the last month here at the Tanger outlets. Now, we also want to show you video from a organized crime theft that happened not too long ago. It did prompt additional patrols and enhanced security, but for Black Friday and through the holiday weekend, the Metro Nashville Police Department says officers will be on foot, horseback, and even in the air, where helicopter crews will immediately radio anything concerning on the ground. Now, MNPD, as Justin mentioned, won't just be enhancing their patrolling here in this area with those horses and helicopters and also those officers on foot. This will also be done at the Green Hills Mall and also Opry Mills Mall as well. We'll have all the Black Friday updates both on air and on our streaming platforms. For now, live in Antioch, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Kylie, thank you so much. Well, coming up, a Tennessee congressman is now introducing a bill that is aiming to protect people from punishment for refusing to use someone's preferred pronouns. We'll tell you more about that. Plus, Brett Luna has got the very latest on your forecasts as we've got some freezing fog and a pretty tough accident to deal with at I-40 and I-65. We'll have the latest on both when we come back.
Stay connected. Get Fox 17.
5:10 is the time. Tennessee Congress member Andy Ogles is now co-sponsoring a bill in Congress to keep federal agencies from punishing people, I should say, in states like Tennessee for not using an individual's preferred pronouns. It's called the Safeguarding Honest Speech Act, and it affects pronouns and nicknames. If passed, violators could pay damages of up to $100,000. We'll see where it goes. Let's get to Brett Luna. He's standing by with a look at your forecast, which does include some fog.
Yeah, Justin, and also combine that with these temperatures at or below freezing, and we're having the possibility this morning of even a little bit of freezing fog. So because of that, the National Weather Service went ahead and issued that freezing fog advisory. That's going to be for all of Middle Tennessee and run until 8 o'clock this morning. I think within the next couple hours, though, once we start to see the sun come up, this is going to really help improve conditions quite a bit pretty quickly, too. So this isn't going to last a whole lot longer for us, but at or below freezing for a lot of these temperatures. 32 in Nashville, right at freezing, 30 in McMinnville, 28 degrees in Tullahoma, and that's also out further east where we're seeing some of the thickest fog set up early this morning too. Everybody in that shade of red that goes up from the Alabama state line up to the Kentucky state line around the plateau, visibility less than 1/4 of a mile in those areas. So just be very safe. We could have some a little bit of thin ice develop on some of those bridges and overpasses because of that freezing fog. So just take it slowly, play it safe. We'll have more details for you on everything else coming up for you in just a bit.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. This is I-40 at I-65, where you're getting a good look here at a crash that we've been following for the last few moments. Also, how about this, Brett? The fog has started to move in over there.
You're seeing it now.
On the downtown
yeah,
loop.
right.
This was not looking like this a few moments ago. So heads up there. Police are on the scene dealing with that. We did have a couple people out walking around. One lane is open in each direction, though, and this is going to impact you as you make that drive from downtown Nashville between Demumbrian and 2nd and 4th Avenue. If you know what that area is down there, I guess they call it Pie Town these days. It's over there in that area. So if you have a trip, just know it could impact you. But again, not causing major backups, lighter than normal traffic, obviously, for the Thanksgiving holiday. Well, speaking of Thanksgiving, we've got a plea from country music singer Jelly Roll. He realized he didn't call ahead for a big Thanksgiving side dish, so he went to TikTok for help. Megan O'Halloran will have the details coming up in just a few. Plus, Brett Luna will tell us more about the forecast as we continue to watch the fog and its impact on Middle Tennessee. That is why we've gone code red. We'll be right back.
No one wins alone.
5:15 is the time. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. We've gone a code red weather alert because of the freezing fog across the area of downtown Nashville, and it is causing an impact out there on the road in certain spots. We're going to have the very latest on that coming up here in the next few minutes. Brett Luna standing by for that. Well, we are Following developing news out of New York, that's where authorities now say an explosion near Niagara Falls was not an act of terror. Take a look at the video. Please take a look. Just watch right there in the top corner of the screen. The video shows a car going airborne at the United States-Canadian border before crashing and exploding. We now know that at least 2 people inside that car have died. The Customs and Border Patrol officer who was there at the scene was taken to the hospital. Minor injuries, was later released. The New York governor, Kathy Hochul, says there's no evidence that the explosion was a terrorist attack. Well, the last-minute Thanksgiving shopping scramble turned into a very tender and trending moment on TikTok for the country music sensation Jelly Roll. Restaurants and shops shut down for the holiday. Jelly Roll posted a desperate plea on TikTok after he forgot to order a Thanksgiving side from one of his favorite restaurants in town. Megan O'Halloran explains.
All right, y'all, I f***ed up and I need your help. I'm a husband, so I did what husbands do. I told my wife I would take care of the dressing because I wanted it from my favorite restaurant. And then I waited until the day before Thanksgiving to call for the dressing. I can't get nobody on the phone for the dressing.
Jelly Roll, in a bit of a pinch before Thanksgiving, resorted to TikTok to track down his favorite restaurant and offered to pay a generous price.
We need help. Please, if you have a contact at Bars Music City Soul Food in Nashville, it's the best dressing ever. Tell that lady I will give her $1,000 for 2 pans of Bars Music City Soul Food dressing for my family on Thanksgiving. Somebody in Nashville knows this lady. Please help me.
After that, the comments came pouring in. Pirate Baby writes, "Y'all, Bunny is gonna hurt this man if he doesn't bring the dressing. Save Jelly, find the dressing." Another fan, Lucas, said, "This is a reminder of how poor I am. $1,000 for some dressing, more like $0, and I'm stressing." Melody Rather said, "I'll make you 2 pans. I'm in Murfreesboro. I can even deliver." It didn't take long for Bars Music City Soul Food to get the message.
The phone has been jumping off. We've had over 200 calls, people calling in from all over the country. My motto is, if they come to that door, I don't want to tell them no. No matter who it is.
Dude, I can't wait to try it.
Absolutely, you're gonna love it.
Jelly Roll sent his main man Boston in to pick up the order, along with this message.
Yo, tell Fox 17 I'm sorry. Tell the Bars family I'm sorry I didn't come pick it up myself. I'm in the studio. I'm recording right now. Thanksgiving Eve, baby, working to make this dream come true.
Megan O'Halloran, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Megan O'Halloran reporting there. Thanks to the power of celebrity, many of the fans that called in today, or yesterday rather, when all this happened, said that they plan to stop and try out some of that food over there at Music City Soul Food the next time they come to town. He was talking about the dream coming true. I think the dream coming true is for the restaurant, who's getting all of this incredible publicity there. Let's get to Brent Luna. He's standing by with a look at the forecast there. Amazing story there with Jelly Roll.
I love that. You know, it makes me want to go try out that dressing now because I love dressing as it is.
Listen,
I'm sure it's good stuff.
They're going to have to serve dressing year-round now. Because
they
people
got a
from
big
across the
shout-out.
world, people are going to come here 4th of July wanting dressing from this place.
You're exactly right. That's awesome. Good business for them, though, hopefully. Well, hey, there's a live look at the Capitol. Cool shot this morning, dark, but not seeing any fog on that camera shot. If you move over to the west side of town, though, I think we are seeing some more fog over there. I'll show you this fog tracker here in just a second. But we are starting out with a freezing fog advisory. So combine these really cool temperatures that we had this morning, some areas at or below freezing with the fog. It's going to leave us with the potential for some of this freezing fog. This advisory is going to go until 8 a.m. But the good news is once the sun comes up, I think this fog is going to quickly lift and we're not going to have to worry about it a whole lot longer. So good news there. The rest of your Thanksgiving looking really nice. This is basically what happens with patchy freezing fog. You got those tiny, super cooled liquid water droplets in the air, but with the temperatures at or below freezing, the moment those come into contact with something, they can instantly freeze and create some slick spots for you out there on the road. So if you have to travel, especially over any bridges or overpasses early this morning, just be smart out there, play it safe, take it a little bit more slowly this morning with that chance out there. Upper 20s, lower 30s around our eastern counties, 32 degrees. We're right at freezing here in Nashville. We have some upper 20s down there in our southwestern areas too. Here's our current fog tracker. tracker. Good news in our southwestern counties. Visibility has improved quite a bit. Visibility less than about a mile or so from Clarksville to Nashville on Interstate 24. The worst visibility conditions in our eastern counties. A lot of areas in that shade of red indicating visibility is less than a fourth of a mile. So especially in those areas, play it safe too. So here we go. Futurecast not able to pick up on any sort of rainfall as we head through the next couple of days. We're going to stop Futurecast though on Sunday morning. That's when we'll see our next best chance for any sort of rain showers right here. Not expecting anything too bad, not even really any heavy rainfall. I think a lot of that just should be a light rain that moves across parts of Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. Thanksgiving plans later on today looking at really nice temperatures in the 50s throughout this afternoon. Your 7-day forecast not too bad either, but a little cool, especially as we head on into next week. Upper 40s Monday and Tuesday.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. This is a live look here at I-40 at I-65 on the South Loop. We've been dealing with the crash involving at least one vehicle crashing into the barrier. You can see Metro Police there in full force along with TDOT. Looks like they have kept one lane open there so you can get by. It's not causing major backups because it's Thanksgiving. If it was not Thanksgiving, this same crash would have caused major backups in all kinds of directions there, but you can get by it there as you make that drive from the south and west side and east side rather. Here's a look at Briley Parkway at County Hospital Road. We're dealing with the fog over there in that area. It is clogging things up, and it's doing so all across the area there from the Briley Parkway area, from Whites Creek Pike all the way down to White Bridge Road across West Nashville. We'll continue to watch the roads here for you, let you know what we find. Well, coming up, there's a brand new sport hitting the Olympics in 2028. We're going to tell you about more American athletes that can get involved.
There's a new...
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. The International Olympic Committee is now adding flag football to the summer games. Now, this is giving more athletes the opportunity to potentially make their Olympic debuts. Matt Napolitano has the story.
Olympians on the gridiron. It's happening in 2028 with the addition of flag football to the list of Olympic sports. The short, fast, non-contact format is renowned as the most accessible and inclusive version of American football and has seen exceptional participation growth worldwide, especially among women and girls. Athletes like Benita Crouch have made a name for themselves on the U.S. women's flag football team and hope to go for the gold 5 years from now. On the men's side, some familiar faces could try for the American roster. Miami Dolphins receiver Tyreek Hill getting the ball rolling, saying on his podcast, quote, "You know how amazing it would be to assemble a super team to play in the Olympics?" That sentiment shared by Dallas Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons, who wants to recruit the NFL's biggest names, and two-time Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes told reporters he's definitely considering playing football on the Olympic stage. NFL Executive Vice President Peter O'Reilly says the league will work with the Players Union on allowing current and former players to compete. O'Reilly says decisions on the makeup of Olympic flag football teams will ultimately be made by the organizations that oversee the teams.
In addition to flag football, the 2028 Summer Olympics will also see the return of the American pastime as baseball and softball make their comeback. In New York, Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
We are starting out this morning in code red, and that is because it is cold, temperatures at or below freezing. Also, some fog out there, too. And because of that, we do have freezing fog advisories in effect for all of Middle Tennessee. These are going to go until 8 o'clock this morning. The good news, though, once the sun comes up, I think this is going to move out of here very quickly, so we're not going to really have to worry about that for a whole lot longer. Here's our current temperatures, again, at or below freezing for a lot of us, especially out east. Upper 20s, lower 30s over there. Nashville, we're at 32, so right at freezing. 28 down in Lawrenceburg, 28. Also, the current temperature for Tullahoma this morning. The fog has improved a lot down there in our southwestern counties. Visibility a whole lot better out there, but still out east. Visibility in that shade of red, less than a fourth of a mile. Also over on the west side of town and even on Interstate 24 from Clarksville down to Nashville, looking at a little bit of fog lined up right along there as well. 57 degrees, our high temperature for today. That's going to put us just a couple degrees below normal. A little bit cool, but overall, after this, after we get past this morning, we are going to get a whole lot better too. Temperatures as we head through the next several days are going to start to drop a little bit for us. 56 degrees on a Saturday. Sunday we're at 53, and then Monday into Tuesday, that's when we are going to see that biggest temperature drop, upper 40s for us. 47 degrees are high on Monday, 48 on Tuesday, and then we're starting to head back up a little bit above normal again on Wednesday with high temperatures going to the mid 50s.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. We continue to follow that crash at I-40 and I-65 at the South Loop. This is as you make that drive in from the Mumbrian and Broadway going towards 2nd and 4th Avenue there on that South Loop. That is where that crash is. Authorities have been there for a little while trying to deal with that car that hit a barrier. We saw some people out and about walking around, unsure if there's any major injuries, but they are waiting on a tow truck. Not causing major delays either, just something to be aware of as you get out on the road. We're going to show you some of the fog, some of the other areas that's coming up in a few.
And coming up, we're here at the Tanger Outlets in Antioch. We'll have all that police are doing to protect shoppers.
The Electronic Express huge. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Off to a little bit of a foggy start here this morning. I think a little bit more fog on the west side of town here in Nashville. Along the eastern counties around the plateau, still seeing some thick fog. I'll have all those details for you and let you know how long this freezing fog advisory sticks around in just a bit.
Plus, we're going to tell you about a Nashville man who's now searching for a woman who hit him and then drove away. We're going to tell you about the side effects that he's having and how he's trying to bring together a community online. Speaking of crashes, we're dealing with one right now. This is I-40 and I-65 over on the South Loop. We're going to tell you why this is not causing as big of a backup as it could coming up in the next few minutes. Thank you for joining us here, and happy Thanksgiving to you. I'm Justin McFarland. It is a Thursday morning. Jen Waddell has the day off. Fox 17 News, though, live and local with you all the way through 9 o'clock. I'm here, so is Code Red meteorologist Brett Luna. He's got the very latest on your forecast, including foggy conditions to get us started.
Justin, and that is exactly why we are starting out things in Code Red early this morning. We have that freezing fog advisory in effect for all of Middle Tennessee. This is going to stick with us until 8 o'clock this morning, but once we start to see the sun come up more, we're really going to start to see these conditions start to improve really quickly too. But until then, there will be the possibility of some slick spots on the roads. You basically get these tiny super cooled liquid water droplets in the air, the fog, and when those come into contact with temperatures at or below freezing with anything, it could instantly freeze on them. So you just got to be very careful, especially if you have to travel over any bridges or overpasses early this morning. Temperatures, speaking of, at or below freezing for a lot of us, especially out here in our eastern counties, and that is unfortunately where we're seeing some of the thickest fog set up this morning too. Everybody highlighted in that shade of red out there with visibilities less than 1/4 of a mile or so. Also from about Clarksville down to Nashville on Interstate 24, we are seeing that yellow color popping up, indicating visibility around a mile or so in spots. No rain that we're having to worry about right now. The rest of your Thanksgiving, once we get past this morning, looking really nice too. All the other details in your 7-day, they're going to be coming up here for you in just a little bit.
All right, Brett, thank you so much. Let's get to your steer clear traffic out there. This is going to be I-40 and I-65. As you make that drive into town, we've got a tow truck that is now finally on the scene to take away that crashed car that is causing some minor delays. I say minor because that's exactly what they are. If this was a normal day of a normal rush hour on a Thursday, this would cause backups that would go all the way around the west part of downtown. Not so much this morning. We're doing much better because of the lighter traffic of the Thanksgiving holiday. So good news, and hopefully they can get that out of the way soon as you go between the Mumbrian all the way around to 2nd and 4th Avenue. Here's a look at the foggy conditions Brett was just talking about. This is County Hospital Road over there on Briley Parkway. It's like this pretty much for the whole stretch of Briley from around Whites Creek Pike all the way around to White Bridge Road. So all of the western part of Briley Parkway there, Centennial Boulevard, Ashland City Highway, all covered up with fog this morning. In Operation Crime and Justice, a Nashville man is now taking to social media after a bone-crushing hit that has changed his life. He lost his shoulder and his arm after being hit by a car, and that driver didn't even stop. Take a look, everyone, as Metro Police say they are still looking for the person who hit Shane Johns back on August the 5th. They say that Johns was riding his motorcycle in Hermitage when a woman in a gold SUV hit him and then took off. He says that he's had to have his shoulder and arm amputated. No leads yet on that suspect. Johns took to social media to share his story in hopes of finding the person who hit him. He says getting a prosthetic at this point is so very expensive. So Johns has had a GoFundMe page set up on his social media platforms. You can find a link to that by going to our website at fox17.com. Well, as the city continues to grapple with the uptick in crime at several shopping malls and shopping centers, the Metro Nashville Police Department will enhance their presence for Black Friday shoppers. Let's get out to Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker, who's live for us this morning at the Tanger Outlets in Antioch that will open up for their very first Black Friday about 24 hours from right now.
Yeah, Justin, and police will be on foot, on horseback, and even in the air patrolling this outlet mall through the weekend, but they'll also be at Opry Mills and the Green Hills Mall as well, doing the same exact thing. Now, if you recall, Green Hills Mall did fall victim to organized crime theft in recent months, where thieves stole tens of thousands of dollars in merchandise from high-end retail stores like Louis Vuitton and Nordstrom, while Tanger Outlets in Antioch also targeted, with police being called to the location around 70 times in its first month of being open. It's a frustrating reality to so many shoppers, workers, and locals.
It's so unfortunate. Like, they say we want more things in Nashville, we want to bring more things to Antioch, but when we bring things, can't have nice things because people just take away from it.
Now, I will be here tomorrow covering all your Black Friday festivities, and of course we will let you guys know if any breaking news happens, especially that theft, on our streaming platforms or on a line or on air. For now, in Antioch, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Let's get to Brett Luna. He's got a look at your forecast as we are taking a look out here, or we will get to Brett coming up in a few minutes. He's got your code red forecast because of the freezing fog potential that is out there. How much longer will this hang with us? We've got the details when we come back.
Attention homeowners.
5:39 is the time. The iconic Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade balloons came to life yesterday for that big parade that's going to be happening there near Times Square in Lower Manhattan. There will be 16 giant character balloons. I think you just saw Pikachu there, perhaps. Ronald McDonald, SpongeBob will all be floating in the air among the skyscrapers there in Lower Manhattan. Now, the parade will also feature floats, marching bands from across the country, and performances led by some notable celebrities. The 97th Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade will be starting later this morning around 7:30 or so.
And we're starting out this morning here in Code Red is because of some really cool temperatures at or below freezing. Combine that with some of the fog that we have out there right now. That's led to the potential for some patchy freezing fog development. And because of that, National Weather Service went ahead and issued that advisory. That's going to run until 8 o'clock this morning. But once the sun comes up, I think this is going to get a whole lot better, a whole lot quicker. So we're not going to have to worry about this for much longer. Temperatures right now in the 20s and 30s anywhere you look. We're in the lower 30s around the plateau. Temperatures in Nashville, we are right at freezing, 32 degrees for us right here. We're still seeing that dense fog out further to the east. Everybody highlighted in red around Cookeville, McMinnville, Tullahoma, Winchester, all those areas. Visibility is less than a fourth of a mile in spots. Over there in our southwestern areas, that has improved. It's still on the west side of Nashville, still seeing a little bit of that fog going on right now. Temperatures the rest of this afternoon, not too bad, just a couple of degrees below normal for this time of year, a high of 57. And here you go, here's your day planner, 55 degrees for you at 2 and 4 o'clock with mostly sunny and dry conditions.
Clear traffic as you get out there this morning. This is a good look at I-40 and I-65 in the South Loop. That's where we were dealing with that crash a few moments ago up against a barrier that had police out there trying to make sure everyone was safe and sound. Thankfully, they have been able to clear that crash, so no more problems there over on the West Loop. Certainly good news. We're watching to see if the fog is doing any better over on Briley Parkway near County Hospital Road. Not really. It's about the same. And the fog extends like this all the way across western parts of Briley Parkway. We'll continue to keep you up to date. The good news is so far, no major crashes because of the fog out there on the roads this morning. Well, the Titans cannot win on the road, but they have won at home. The good news is they're at home this weekend, taking on the Panthers. We got the goals for their game on Sunday that you can watch right here, by the way, on Fox 17.
Low.
5:45 is the time. Well, after being on the road for nearly a month, the Tennessee Titans are finally coming back home, coming up this Sunday to host the Carolina Panthers. The Titans are undefeated at home so far, and a big reason why is Derrick Henry and his love of playing in front of the home crowd. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick has more on the Titans' big ground game.
The Tennessee Titans struggled to get their run game going in their loss to the Jaguars, and running back Derrick Henry put the blame on himself. The veteran saying, "It's my fault. I need to be more efficient, specifically create more explosive plays when the ball is in my hands." Good news is the Carolina Panthers come into Nissan Stadium Sunday with one of the worst rush defenses in the league, giving up nearly 130 rushing yards per game. The key to taking advantage of that? Stopping two of their game changers, outside linebacker Brian Burns and defensive tackle Derek Brown.
But the touches I get, just be more effective, be more efficient in those plays when the ball's in my hands, and trying to create explosives in any way possible. But I think efficiency has been my main focus.
Find ways to make sure we get 0-95 blocked. Those are two disruptive players, probably as disruptive as we've seen. We got to make sure we're doing a good job taking care of those two up front. And if we do that, we're going to have an opportunity to get Derrick rolling.
Sunday's game will also be a battle of two rookie quarterbacks. Panthers quarterback Bryce Young was the #1 overall pick in this year's draft, with Will Levis coming shortly after him in the second round at number 33 overall.
He's a heck of a quarterback. It was really fun watching him, comparing myself to the other quarterbacks in the draft class. And he did some great things on Saturdays. He's been doing some great things on Sundays.
I got to spend time with him last year during the House commercial. Got to know him a little bit, and just talk to him. Happy for his success, and hopefully he don't have much this Sunday.
It's worth noting that Levis has been on the injury report. He was not at Tuesday's walkthrough. However, he was back at practice on Wednesday with the team, so a good sign. The Titans will have Thanksgiving Day off, get right back to work first thing on Friday. Reporting from the Titans practice facility, Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Jill. By the way, again, you can watch that game right here on Fox 17. 5:47 is the time. You can mark your calendar for December the 1st. That is when Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell will be lighting the city's Christmas tree at the Public Square Park in the annual lighting ceremony that will feature some of the best guests that Nashville has to offer, including the Andrew Jackson Elementary School Choir that will have a big performance. The whole thing starts at around 5:30. Well, let's get to Brett Luna now. He's got a look at your forecast that does include a code red weather alert because of fog.
That is how we're starting it out, Justin. We have cold temperatures at or below freezing. Also, the fog out there right now, too, and that has led to the possibility, at least, for some of this freezing fog. The National Weather Service went ahead and issued that freezing fog advisory for all of Middle Tennessee. This is going to go until 8 o'clock this morning. The good news, though, once the sun comes up, conditions are going to really start to improve really quickly. Until then, though, we could be dealing with a little bit of a few slick spots on especially bridges and overpasses. So what happens is you have those tiny, super cool liquid water droplets, and with those temperatures at or below freezing, they can just freeze instantly on contact, and that can create some of those slick spots. So if you have to get out this morning early, especially if you're driving over any bridges or overpasses, just take it a little bit more slowly and be careful out there on your drive this morning. 30 degrees for a lot of areas. We have 32 in Cookeville, 30 in McMinnville, 30 Tullahoma, 30 down in Lawrenceburg. We're right at freezing here in Nashville, 32 our current temperature right here. Still dealing with a little bit of that fog on Interstate 24. This is going to go from Clarksville down to Nashville, right there along I-24. Visibility in parts of that area around 1 mile or so. The thickest fog, that is still in our eastern areas where you see that shade of red. Cookeville, McMinnville, Tullahoma, Winchester, all in that shade of red, indicating visibilities there less than 1/4 of a mile. No rain for us as we head through the next couple of days. Our next rain chance, that's not going to come into play until Sunday. We're going to have some light showers move across Middle Tennessee later Sunday morning on into the early afternoon hours, and then we should be drying out pretty nicely. Want to show you the 7-day forecast real quick too. Upper 50s for us tomorrow, lower 50s on Sunday with the rain chance, and then Monday and Tuesday we're down to the upper 40s for our high temperatures.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's take a good look here at I-40 at Donaldson Pike. You make that drive out there this morning. We can see things are moving along pretty well. No big problems out there. We are seeing some fog in certain parts of the area, but nothing out of the ordinary as far as at least this part of town is concerned. Let's take you over to the west side. That is where we are seeing problems out there on the roads with the fog. This is Briley Parkway at County Hospital Road. It looks like this for a good stretch of Briley Parkway over there in West Nashville. We're going to take you a look at other parts of town coming up in the next few minutes. Well, looking ahead to a jammed, packed holiday weekend of sports right here on Fox 17. Of course, it starts later today with the Tennessee women's basketball team. They'll be taking on Indiana. That game's at 5 p.m. Then we've got a college football triple header coming up on Saturday. That is when the Ohio State Buckeyes will be taking on the Michigan Wolverines in a huge clash. Michigan favored to win right now by 3.5 points. So we'll be able to show you that plus a few other games. And then, of course, we're looking forward to the Tennessee Titans taking on the Carolina Panthers. You can watch that game Sunday right here on Fox as the Titans try to get back on a winning streak. We're just trying to win a game. So we're asking you, which one of these games are you most excited to watch? Let's take a look at the latest results of our Twitter poll. You can see that Ohio State, Michigan is now beating the Titans and Panthers when it comes to popularity of which games they want to watch here this weekend. Of course, Ohio State, Michigan is featuring two undefeated teams, with the winner probably moving on to the college football playoff. So important matchup there. Of course, we'll keep you up to date with anything happening on the poll. If you want to go participate for yourself, you can do so over on X, formerly known as Twitter. You can find us at Fox Nashville. Well, targeted ads could be coming to find you at 30,000 feet, according to the Wall Street Journal. United Airlines might start using its passenger information to help brands give you targeted ads. Now, some of those personalized ads could appear on United's seatback screens. It could also happen on the app that people use to buy those tickets and check in. So far, no confirmation from United has been handed down about this decision. 5:52, some of the lemurs at an Illinois zoo were served a very unusual Thanksgiving meal. We're going to let you know what inspired this when we come back.
The right mattress makes
5:55 is the time for you here on this Thanksgiving Thursday morning. Live look there over downtown Nashville. We've got some freezing fog, but help on the way as we've got the sun starting to peek over the horizon there in the backdrop. Brett Luna has got the very latest look at your forecast right now. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning to you, Justin. And that sun coming up is good news. Once that starts to get a little bit higher, I think that is going to help eliminate that fog pretty quickly. So we're not going to really have to worry about this for a whole lot longer. As it stands right now, though, freezing fog advisories do remain in effect. These are going to remain in place until 8 o'clock this morning. Any of that fog has the potential to freeze on contact. You got those super cool, tiny liquid water droplets with these temperatures at or below freezing. That could create some slick spots, especially on any of the bridges or overpasses. So just be safe. Take it a little bit more slowly out there and be smart when you're out there driving. Lower 30s in our eastern counties, temperatures at 32 in Cookeville, also in Crossville, a little bit cooler. McMinnville, also down in Tullahoma, and that is where we're seeing some of the thickest fog still set up right now. Everybody in that shade of red, some of those town names I just named included in that. Visibility is less than 1/4 of a mile. Also over on the west side of Davidson County, still seeing some of that fog too. That's going to extend up Interstate 24 into the Clarksville area, and now we've started to see a little bit of fog recently develop there around Centerville, down into Columbia, parts of Murray County. Visibility about a half mile or so. 57 degrees later this afternoon. Overall, a good Thanksgiving for you once we get past this fog early this morning.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning gets us started here at I-40 at Donaldson Pike. As you make that drive out and about there this morning, you can see where the traffic is jumping off there near B&A. You can also see some of that fog in the upper part of the screen, but not as well as you can see it over in West Nashville. This is Briley Parkway at County Hospital Road, and it looks like this from County Hospital Road and Ashland City Highway, Centennial Boulevard, that entire area over there on the west side of Briley Parkway as you make that drive down. So heads up, the fog should burn off according to Brett coming up here over the next hour or so perhaps. But until then, it is something you have to deal with out there for the roads. Well, Thanksgiving came a little early for some of the residents at the Brookfield Zoo. Yesterday, staff at the Chicago Area Zoo provided a Thanksgiving meal for its 2 ring-tailed lemurs. Now, the food was inspired by a Charlie Brown's Christmas, or Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving, I should say. There's a Christmas special that's really good, too. But this is inspired by the Thanksgiving special, which aired for the first time 50 years ago, if you want to feel old this morning. The lemurs snacked on the same thing Charlie Brown snacked on: popcorn, toast, jelly beans, pretzel sticks, apple juice, and if they got lucky, a piece of pie. Thanksgiving pies you see there for 5 cents. See how much inflation has hit things since then? So very good for the lemurs as they got in on the Charlie Brown action there in Chicago. All right, it took a long time, but a message written in a bottle finally made its way. It was written by a 5th grader in Massachusetts and was found in France. It took 26 years, though, for it to make that journey. A French man found the handwritten message in a bottle that washed up on a beach on the western shores of the country. It was dated October of 1997. It was written by Benjamin Lyons and was part of a science unit on ocean currents, or a science project, I guess, on ocean currents. Now, although it's almost 30 years later, the Frenchman sent the letter back with the photo and the original letter from France. That is unbelievable. I wonder what the science is behind that. I'm curious now. Journey of a Bottle sounds like a whole movie coming soon. A new survey shows that the freedom of the open road isn't so free when it comes to car payments. Edmunds, which is an online auto inventory and information company, says that the average monthly payment on a new vehicle in the third quarter reached $736 a month. $736 a month? It's an all-time high. Edmunds says that new and used annual percentage rates are at points not seen since the recession of 2007 and 2008 because they're trying to get people to buy at $739 a month. The company adds that the high interest rates are still affecting affordability. If you're in the market for a vehicle, the company is recommending knowing the value of your trade-in and consider buying older cars with low mileage. $736 a month. That is the average right now, which means people are paying more than that in some cases. Our 6 o'clock hour for free is coming up right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
And we are starting out Code Red this morning. We do have some fog that we're having to deal with across parts of Middle Tennessee. Temperatures also below freezing, too. You can see a little bit on that camera right there. The sun is going to help that, though. I'll have all the other details for you in just a bit.
Well, also happening right now, evacuations are on in the state of Kentucky. This is after a chemical spill from a train.
And we're here at the Tanger Outlets in Antioch with how police will be combating crime for Black Friday.
Plus, steer clear traffic takes us over to the west side of town. This is going to be Briley Parkway, and it's a foggy drive. I'll explain more coming up in the next few minutes. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. I'm Justin McFarland. Jen Waddell has this Thanksgiving day off. Happy Thanksgiving to her, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And thank you so much for waking up with us. We are following part of the screen back here, which is the sunrise and the fog, and the two are going to play a very close game in relation to each other coming up here over the next few minutes. Brett Luna has got the very latest as we've gone code red because of this fog.
Absolutely, Justin. And once that sun starts to get a little bit higher, that's going to help that fog lift on out of here. So we're not going to have to deal with it a whole lot longer. But until then, until 8 o'clock at least, we do have those freezing fog advisories that are in effect. The National Weather Service decided to go ahead and issue those for all of Middle Tennessee. Again, those are going to run until 8 o'clock as of right now. You could run into a few slick spots. Basically, you get these tiny supercooled liquid water droplets that are able to freeze on contact with the surface or really anything. And if it happens on any overpasses or bridges especially, could create a few slick spots for you. So just be safe. Take it a little bit more slowly out there if you're traveling early this morning. Temperatures right now at or below freezing. So this is what's playing the role into that. 32 in Cookeville, 30 right now in McMinnville, 30 down in Tullahoma, right around freezing here in Nashville too. Still dealing with some fog on the western side of Davidson County, up Interstate 24 too, up into Clarksville. More fog just recently developed down there around the Murray County, Lewis County spots. And then over here in the shade of red, everybody in those areas with visibilities less than a fourth of a mile. The rest of the day, though, looking pretty good in your 7-day forecast. Not too bad as far as any rain, but we'll be dropping down to the upper 40s Monday and Tuesday.
All right, Brett, thank you so much. Let's get to steer clear traffic. New pocket of fog we've just discovered over here on I-40 at Stewart's Ferry Pike. This isn't all that surprising. This is very close to the Percy Priest Dam area, which is known to collect a lot of fog when we get the right conditions like this. So we're starting to see that roll in. We've seen it really heavy over in the West Nashville area on Briley Parkway, very close to places like County Line Road, County Hospital Road, Ashland City Highway, and Centennial Boulevard. We'll continue to watch the roads here for you this morning, but at last check, there were no major crashes that could slow you up this morning. We'll continue to watch those roads here for you. We are following breaking news this morning out of Kentucky. That is where evacuations are happening because of a train derailment. Now, CSX says that one of its trains got off the track yesterday afternoon in the Rockcastle County area. At least 15 cars were involved. 2 of those cars had sulfur inside, and some of that sulfur did spill out. That has caused the emergency management officials to evacuate towns like Livingston and Piney Branch. The governor of the state, Andy Beshear, has also declared a state of emergency so that more resources can be applied to those areas that are hardest hit. A CSX crew member was treated for minor injuries, but no one has been hospitalized as of yet. Let's talk about Operation Crime and Justice after a man has died. This is after Murfreesboro police say he tried to rob an armored truck at a restaurant. Police have identified the man as 44-year-old Stephen Murphy. Now, around 9 o'clock yesterday morning, the Murfreesboro Police Department got a call from 911 about a man trying to rob an armored truck at an ATM. Police say that one of the truck workers pulled a weapon. Murphy took off. They say they then found Murphy inside of the Jason's Deli nearby. Police say that they confronted Murphy, but when he would not follow orders, they shot him. Now, the TBI says they are looking into exactly how this escalated into a deadly shooting. They say it is up to the district attorney's office to determine whether or not the officer's actions were justified. Let's switch gears to Black Friday. It's one of the most popular days of the year where shoppers will go looking for some deals out there, but it also comes with some concerns for crime. This is as retail stores across the country are being targeted for theft. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker joins us live this morning, very close to the Tanger outlets there in Antioch, where Metro Police say they're going to be there on both foot, on horse, on everything. Kylie.
Yeah, and definitely this outlet mall has been under scope because, as we reported earlier this week, the Metro Police Department has been called to this location around 70 times since it first opened about a month ago. So that's quite a bit. We want to show you also some video of shoplifting already happening at the Tanger outlets here in Antioch, prompting additional patrols and enhanced security. Now, for Black Friday and through the holiday weekend, as Justin mentioned, the Metro Nashville Police Department says officers will be on foot, horseback, and even in the air, where helicopter crews will immediately radio anything concerning on the ground. Now, MNPD won't just be enhancing their presence or doing the horse, air, and foot thing just here at the Tanger outlets. They're also going to be doing this at the Green Hills Mall and Opry Mills as well. We will be here for Black Friday to cover everything that goes down. We'll have all those updates for you guys tomorrow. For now, in Antioch, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Kylie. Well, coming up, a brand new sport hitting the Olympics in 2028. We're going to tell you how more Americans could get involved in a little flag football. Plus, Fox 17 News continues our Code Red weather alert this morning. That fog out there is starting to dissipate, but Brett Luna has the very latest on exactly how thick it is in certain areas and how much longer it'll be with us.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red Chief.
6:09 is the time. The International Olympic Committee is adding flag football to the summer games. Now, this will give athletes more opportunities to potentially make their Olympic dreams come true. Matt Napolitano has the story.
Olympians on the gridiron. It's happening in 2028 with the addition of flag football to the list of Olympic sports. The short, fast, non-contact format is renowned as the most accessible and inclusive version of American football and has seen exceptional participation growth worldwide, especially among women and girls. Athletes like Benita Crouch have made a name for themselves on the U.S. women's flag football team and hope to go for the gold 5 years from now. On the men's side, some familiar faces could try for the American roster. Miami Dolphins receiver Tyreek Hill getting the ball rolling, saying on his podcast, quote, "You know how amazing it would be to assemble a super team to play in the Olympics?" That sentiment shared by Dallas Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons, who wants to recruit the NFL's biggest names, and two-time Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes told reporters he's definitely considering playing football on the Olympic stage. NFL Executive Vice President Peter O'Reilly says the league will work with the Players Union on allowing current and former players to compete. O'Reilly says decisions on the makeup of Olympic flag football teams will ultimately be made by the organizations that oversee the teams.
In addition to flag football, the 2028 Summer Olympics will also see the return of the American pastime as baseball and softball make their comeback. In New York, Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
And we are starting things out in Code Red this morning. I don't think this is going to last with us a whole lot longer, though. The higher that sun gets, the quicker that fog is going to go away from us. But as it stands right now, still that freezing fog advisory in effect for all of Middle Tennessee. This is going to run until 8 a.m. That's the official run time on this. A lot of areas should improve a little bit before then, hopefully. And because of that, we have these temperatures at or below freezing in a lot of these areas. So combine these freezing temperatures with the fog, you can get some freezing fog. That could create some slick surfaces, especially around bridges or overpasses, so just be very careful if you have to travel out there early this morning. Temperature at 31 degrees right here in Nashville. A little bit of fog in West Davidson County, running up Interstate 24 on into the Clarksville area. The thickest fog this morning, though, that's still out east. Areas like Cookeville, Crossville, McMinnville, down into Tullahoma and Winchester, still seeing some of that. Looking at spots with visibilities less than a fourth of a mile in some of those areas. Any plans outdoors today should be a really good one for you. Temperature is going to be in the 50s through most of it. This weekend, not too bad. A rain chance on Sunday.
All right, Brett, steer clear traffic for you out there this morning. Let's go to I-40 at Stewart's Ferry Pike out there. You can see where the fog is starting to move in over in that area, very close to the Percy Priest Dam. So heads up there, those lights on, good idea. even as the sun continues to rise. This is Briley Parkway at Ashland City Highway. As you make that drive on the north and west side of town, the west side of Briley Parkway especially has been hard hit by the fog throughout the morning. But as Brent mentioned, we're expecting to see it lift as the morning goes on. We'll let you know when it does. As a matter of fact, Brent Luna will be right back with another check on your forecast as we've gone code red because of the potential of some of this freezing fog in certain areas. We'll be right back.
Attention homeowners.
6:15 is the time. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. All right, the fog on the move there as you look across the Cumberland River. That's Nissan Stadium. And all of that back there, that's East Nashville. I know it doesn't look like East Nashville, but it is. As you move back there towards eventually Donaldson, Hermitage, all the way back. A lot of fog in some of those areas here, but the fog will be on the move soon. Brent Luna will have the very latest on that coming up here in about 4 minutes. Before we get to Brett and the fog, we got to tell you about this developing story out of New York. That is where authorities now say that an explosion near Niagara Falls was not an act of terror, but it certainly was terrifying. Take a look at some of these videos coming in from the area. You see the fireball right there. This is after a car went airborne and hit the guard posts. This is very close to the United States-Canadian border before it exploded there. We know 2 people were inside of that car. Both of them have died. The Customs and Border Patrol officer who was there on the scene was taken to the hospital with minor injuries, but later released. The New York governor, Kathy Hochul, says there is no evidence that the explosion was a terrorist attack. Some lighter news this morning as we are talking about something that we are all facing out there, and that could be last-minute Thanksgiving preparations. Well, have you ever forgotten to get something? You forgot to pick up something? Then you're on the scramble trying to figure out, how am I going to get it? Well, country music star Jelly Roll was in that exact same situation. And as restaurants and shops started to shut down for the holiday, Jelly Roll, in a desperate plea, went to TikTok after he forgot to order a Thanksgiving side dish from one of his favorite restaurants. Fox 17 News anchor Megan O'Halloran has the story.
All right, y'all, I f***ed up and I need your help. I'm a husband, so I did what husbands do. I told my wife I would take care of the dressing because I wanted it from my favorite restaurant. And then I waited until the day before Thanksgiving to call for the dressing. I can't get nobody on the phone for the dressing.
Jelly Roll, in a bit of a pinch before Thanksgiving, resorted to TikTok to track down his favorite restaurant and offered to pay a generous price.
We need help. Please, if you have a contact at Bars Music City Soul Food in Nashville, it's the best dressing ever. Tell that lady I will give her $1,000 for 2 pans of Bars Music City Soul Food dressing for my family on Thanksgiving. Somebody in Nashville knows this lady. Please help me.
After that, the comments came pouring in. Pirate Baby writes, "Y'all, Bunny is gonna hurt this man if he doesn't bring the dressing. Save jelly, find the dressing." Another fan, Lucas, said, "This is a reminder of how poor I am. $1,000 for some dressing, more like $0, and I'm stressing." Melody Rather said, "I'll make you 2 pans. I'm in Murfreesboro. I can even deliver." It didn't take long for Bars Music City Soul Food to get the message.
The phone has been jumping off. We've had over 200 calls, people calling in from all over the country. My motto is, if they come to that door, I don't want to tell them no. No matter who it is.
Dude, I can't wait to try it.
Absolutely, you're gonna love it.
Jelly Roll sent his main man Boston in to pick up the order, along with this message.
Yo, tell Fox 17 I'm sorry. Tell the Bars family I'm sorry I didn't come pick it up myself. I'm in the studio. I'm recording right now. Thanksgiving Eve, baby, working to make this dream come true.
Megan O'Halloran, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Wow. Well, this is all thanks to the power of celebrity. Many of the fans that called that restaurant say they plan to stop in and try some of that Music City soul food the next time they come to Nashville. Brent Luna and I have been talking about this story throughout the morning, and we both have come to the conclusion that Music City soul food, I'm sorry, you're going to have to serve dressing year-round now.
It might become a thing.
It's just, no one's looking for dressing in Easter, but they will after this story? People are going to come to town. They're going to ask for this.
You know, I want to try it. I love dressing. It's one of my favorite things at Thanksgiving. So
yeah, it looks good. But Jelly Roll's asking for it. You know, then he's
willing to pay up for it too.
Something.
Yeah,
$1,000. How good is it?
It's probably pretty good for that price.
I don't know if it's that good. Let's go to Brett now. He's got to look at the forecast with this freezing fog that is going to be with us just a little while longer.
Yeah, Justin, that's right. We're going to keep this freezing fog advisory up for about another hour and 40 minutes or so. Official runtime on this, it's set to expire at 8 o'clock this morning, but starting to see that fog lift up a little bit as the sun comes up. That is going to help things out. But as it stands right now, all counties here in Middle Tennessee in that freezing fog advisory. And what that is you basically have the fog combined with temperatures at or below freezing, and those tiny supercooled liquid water droplets can freeze out in an instant on contact with anything on the surface. So if you have to travel over any bridges or overpasses, just be sure to play it safe, take it slowly out there over those, and just be paying attention while you're out there driving on the roads early this morning. Lower 30s out east, to 31 degrees here in Nashville, and it's out east where we're seeing some of the thickest fog. Everybody in that shade of red, this is going to be for a lot of these spots from Cookeville all the way down to Winchester, parts of that area with visibility values less than 1/4 of a mile, so pretty thick over in those areas. Not seeing any rain right here. We're going to keep it dry as we head through the rest of the weekend until we hit Sunday. That's when we'll bring in that next rain chance, a chance for showers on Sunday. Not expecting anything too bad, mainly light showers. And then Monday and Tuesday early next week, it's going to get cooler, upper 40s for our highs.
Steer clear traffic out there this morning. Let's take a good look here at the Briley Parkway area. This is over close to Ashland City Highway. You can see where the foggy conditions have set in, but hopefully they will not be around much longer. At last check, there were no major crashes out there on the road to slow you up. We had one earlier this morning that has since cleared. Checking in with Metro Police right now. No, they've got all clear right now on the interstates. We'll continue to keep you up to date throughout the morning. Well, new this morning, we are counting down to the Christmas Capital celebration in downtown Nashville as we take you there. Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey live for us this morning down there at the Capitol, where they are giving us a live look there at the Christmas tree that is in position, but obviously not lit up quite yet. The celebration will take place on Monday at 5:30. The event is free and open to the public. In addition to the tree lighting, there will be performances there by several choirs, as well as the 129th Army Band. There will also be a visit from Santa himself swinging by. This year's tree is a 35-foot tall Norway spruce that was harvested from Springfield, Tennessee, just last week. 6:22 is the time as we go to break. Live look this morning from New York City. That is where the 97th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is set to kick off, coming up in just a few hours. A lot of floats in the air, a lot of excitement too there in Lower Manhattan.
Shop the Electronic Express.
6:24 is the time for you here on this Thursday morning. In Operation Crime and Justice, an accused leader of a street racing group in Nashville has now turned himself in to Metro Police. Take a good look at your screen right here. You see the gentleman with the glasses. According to authorities, that is 21-year-old Isaiah Miller, who is now being charged with inciting a riot. He's accused of co-hosting several street takeovers here in Nashville. Austin Scott is also charged in this case. Police were able to arrest Mr. Scott a few days ago. Well, Metro Police say that a man faces several charges after they claim he fired 8 shots at another driver. This happened on Briley Parkway. Now, officers say that Douglas Alberto Angel Castillo was the passenger in a car trying to merge onto Briley Parkway from Gallatin Pike. According to the affidavit, the victim tried to block Angel Castillo's car from cutting him off, and that's when officers say the suspect started to shoot, hitting the victim's car several times in the driver's side window and then on the bumper. They say they later caught up with Angel Castillo near the Gastonbury Road area and took him into custody. According to the affidavit, he told officers he started to shoot because the victim threw a water bottle at him in traffic. Let's get to Brent Luna. He's got to look at your forecast.
That's right, Justin. And the big story for us, at least for the next hour or so, it's going to be the chance for a little bit of patchy freezing fog. Because of that, we do have the freezing fog advisory for everybody in that turquoise color. That's going to run officially through 8 a.m. But as that sun keeps on going up, that's going to help that fog lift up out of here. So I think conditions are going to start to improve very quickly over the next hour or so. Temperatures at or below freezing, and that is why we have the possibility for some of that freezing fog. 31 in Nashville, lower 30s in areas like Murfreesboro on down to Tullahoma too, and we are still seeing a little bit of that fog on the western side of Davidson County. That's going to stretch up across Interstate 24 up into the Clarksville area. Also some moderate fog down there around Columbia too, but the thickest is still out further east. Cookeville, McMinnville on down into Tullahoma and Winchester all included in that 1/4 mile of visibility for some of those roadways in that area. But if you travel over any bridges or overpasses, they could be just a little bit slick because of that, so just be slower, take it safe out there as you head out.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's go to the north side. That's 65 at Trinity Lane. Making that drive down. This is how you can tell it's a Thanksgiving day or any holiday. Look at that traffic. It never looks like that, almost never ever at 6:30 in the morning. But there we are, 65 at Trinity. No big problems for you there. Also starting to see improvement. We can actually see the road on Briley Parkway at Ashland City Highway. We've been covered over here with fog for most of the morning, but things are starting to improve. So how much longer will it be with us at all? You can see where the fog is still very heavy in certain parts of Nashville. Brett Luna has got the very latest on that when we come back.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
And we are starting things out in Code Red this morning. You can see some of that low cloud cover right there. The possibility for freezing fog is right there, really pretty shy. You can also see the sun coming up too, and that's going to help clear things out pretty quickly. We just got to give it about another hour or so. More details on that though in just a bit.
Plus, a Nashville man is searching for the woman who hit him with her car and drove away. We're going to tell you about the side effects of bringing together an online community. Plus, steer clear traffic this morning takes us over to the west side of town. That's Briley. That's Briley Parkway, Ashland City Highway. Traffic doing fine. The fog starting to lift. We've got the details on that coming up in a few. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. It is a Thursday morning, your Thanksgiving day. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I'm Justin McFarland. Well, we're going to get started with your forecast as Brett Luna has been watching the weather throughout the morning and really watching the fog in particular.
The big story for us over the past several hours, this freezing fog potential that we've been talking about. These freezing fog advisories were issued late last night. They carried on over.
Okay, we understand we're having a hard time hearing Brett for some reason. Perhaps his battery may have died on him. If that's the case, we can tell you that we'll be right back with him in a second to get an update on that freezing fog and the potential for it to carry on. It doesn't seem like it's going to, though. It seems like it's starting to lift. This is Briley Parkway near Ashland City Highway. This is where the fog has been with us really heavy over there in West Nashville for quite some time. Glad to see it has lightened up very much over there in that particular area of town. So great news there. This is 65 at Trinity Lane on the north side. Also looking just fine out there this morning. No big problems north, south, east, or west. But how much longer could that potential for fog be with us? Let's get back to Brett.
Well, here we go again. That freezing fog advisory is going to remain with us until 8 o'clock this morning. That is because the potential for some freezing fog to develop, that's going to be for all of Middle Tennessee, but we're not going to have to see that for a whole lot longer as the sun keeps on lifting. That's really going to help that fog lift too. So freezing fog is basically when you have temperatures at or below freezing combined with the fog, those tiny supercooled water droplets that are in the air, anything they come into contact with, they can freeze instantly, and that can lead to some slick spots on some of the roadways, bridges, overpasses. If you have to travel over any of those for the next hour or so, just be very careful and be smart out there if you're out on the roads early this morning. Temperature right at freezing here in Nashville, 31 degrees, 34 over in Camden, 29 Cookeville, one of the cooler spots, 30 in Tullahoma, 28 down in Lawrenceburg. We had some thick fog down there earlier. That started to lighten up a little bit. Still a little bit more fog there, though. Maybe another little thick spot just north of Interstate 40 in between Dickson and Nashville. The western side of Davidson County, some fog, and it has started to drop back away from Clarksville a little bit. So now just a little bit of I-24 covered up with a little bit of fog. The thickest fog, though, is still out in our eastern counties, all the way from areas like Cookeville down on to Tullahoma and Winchester. Visibility in those areas less than a fourth of a mile. Not going to have to worry about any rain today. Your Thanksgiving, once we get past this fog, is looking really nice, just a little cooler than normal. 7-day forecast showing temperatures dropping down quite a bit for us as we head on into early next week.
Thank you, Brett. Let's get to Operation Crime and Justice, as a Nashville man is now taking his case to social media after he was hit by a car earlier in the year, and it cost him his shoulder and his arm, and the driver didn't even stop. Now, police say they still have not found the person who hit Shane Johns back on August the 5th. John says that he was riding his motorcycle in Hermitage when a woman in a gold SUV hit him and then sped off. He says that he had to have his shoulder and arm removed. No leads yet on the suspect. Johns took to social media to share his story in hopes of finding out exactly who hit him. He says getting a prosthetic arm is very expensive.
But I don't have a shoulder or an arm. So since I'm missing a shoulder, I have to have a coupling. So mine will be over $100,000.
$100,000. Now, John also adds that he plans to pay tens of thousands of dollars worth of medical bills that he's racked up since this crash happened. Well, Johns has got a GoFundMe page linked up on his social media platform, One Arm Seeker. You can also find a link to that website on our website, fox17.com. The city is continuing to grapple with an uptick in retail crime. Our malls and our shopping centers have been hit by large-scale theft. The Metro Nashville Police Department will enhance their presence for Black Friday shoppers. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker live for us this morning outside the Tanger outlets, where this time tomorrow there will be a lot more done, as that place will be packed with shoppers.
Police will be on foot, on horseback, and also in the air patrolling this location through the weekend, as well as Green Hills Mall and also Opry Mills. If you recall, Green Hills fell victim to organized crime theft in recent months, where thieves stole tens of thousands of dollars in merchandise from high-end retail stores like Louis Vuitton and Nordstrom. While Tanger outlets in Antioch also targeted, with police being called to the location around 70 times in its first month of being open. It's a frustrating reality to so many shoppers, workers, and locals.
It's so unfortunate. Like, they say we want more things in Nashville, we want to bring more things to Antioch, but when we bring things, can't have nice things because people just take away from it.
Now, I'll be here tomorrow covering all your Black Friday festivities. Of course, if any sort of breaking news happens, we will have all of this information both on air and on our streaming platforms. In Antioch, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, Nashville's Department of Transportation is expanding. We're talking about more meters, more pay hours, more tickets, and more towing. Well, Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier is revealing what the rapid expansion means for those living or visiting Music City. This includes a brand new toll policy that some say is very unfair.
When I see something that is confusing, that's causing me and my little tiny community up here some issues, I want answers.
So what is the solution? Fox 17 News will investigate, and we've got the very latest in this report coming up Sunday night at 9. Fox 17 News has issued a code red weather alert. That's because of the fog that is over downtown Nashville right now. I would tell you exactly where that is, but I don't know. It's Nissan Stadium. It's down there somewhere, I assure you. The fog is starting to lift. Brett Luna will have the very latest when we come back.
She found it.
6:40 is the time, and new this morning, we are counting down to the Christmas at the Capitol celebration set to begin in downtown Nashville. Let's take a look at the scene out there from our photojournalist, Kevin Mumphrey. Happy Thanksgiving out there, Kevin. He's taking a look at this year's Christmas tree at the Capitol. You can see it right there on MLK Way in the heart of downtown. The Christmas Capitol celebration will take place on Monday, 5:30. The event is free and open to the public. In addition to the tree lighting, there will be special performances by the Choir Room Choir, as well as the 129th Army Band. There will also be a visit from Santa himself. This year's tree, by the way, is a 35-foot tall Norway spruce. It was harvested from Springfield just last week.
And we are still code red this morning. That is because of the possibility of some of that freezing fog, but I think our chance of that is going to start to get a whole lot lower as we head through the next hour or so. Once that sun keeps on going up, that's going to help that fog lift on out of here too. As it stands right now, though, freezing fog advisory is still in effect for all of Middle Tennessee. Those are going to run until 8 o'clock this morning. Not going to have to deal with that for a whole lot longer. And once we get past that, the rest of Thanksgiving looking pretty nice, just a couple degrees cooler than normal. Right now, though, here's one of the reasons why temperatures at or below freezing. We have lower 30s around our eastern counties, lower 30s right here in Nashville. A similar story for our more western counties too. Current look at the visibility tracker. Still the worst fall conditions. That's over here in that shade of red in our far eastern counties. A lot of those areas with pockets of visibility less than a fourth of a mile or so. Again, some of that could be freezing fog, especially around bridges or overpasses. So just be very safe if you have to travel early this morning. Like I was talking though, the rest of Thanksgiving looking really nice temperatures, warming up to the mid and upper 50s later this afternoon.
Steer clear traffic as you get out there this morning. Nothing really to steer clear of overall. We're doing okay. This is a live look here at I-65 and I-24. As you can see, traffic moving along just fine out there. No big problems. Most mornings, there are major problems out there on the roads. This morning, we're doing okay. That's 24 at Waldron Road. It's also looking pretty well this morning. This camera is frozen up, but that's okay. No major crashes out there. We'll continue to keep you up to date. Well, coming up right here on Fox 17 News this morning, after a series of disappointing losses on the road, the Titans are finally back home. We're going to break down the key to victory as the Titans take on the Panthers. You can watch it right here on Fox 17, by the way. The other thing you can watch right here on Fox 17 is the sunrise as it continues to come up there with the dawn's early lights, trying to get rid of this fog in the area. Brett Luna has a look at the forecast when we come back.
Shop the line.
Well, welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. They've been on the road for nearly a month, so they're finally ready to come on home. We're talking about the Tennessee Titans. They'll be hosting the Carolina Panthers, who are coming up here this Sunday. Now, the Titans are undefeated at home, and a big reason behind that is Derrick Henry and his love to play in front of the home crowd. Our sports director, Joe Jelnick, has a lot more on the Titans' ground game.
The Tennessee Titans struggled to get their run game going in their loss to the Jaguars, and running back Derrick Henry put the blame on himself. The veteran saying, "It's my fault. I need to be more efficient, specifically create more explosive plays when the ball is in my hands." Good news is the Carolina Panthers come into Nissan Stadium Sunday with one of the worst rush defenses in the league, giving up nearly 130 rushing yards per game. The key to taking advantage of that? Stopping two of their game changers, outside linebacker Brian Burns and defensive tackle Derek Brown.
But the touches I get, just be more effective, be more efficient in those plays when the ball's in my hands, and trying to create explosives in any way possible. But I think efficiency has been my main focus.
Find ways to make sure we get 0-95 blocked. Those are two disruptive players, probably as disruptive as we've seen. We got to make sure we're doing a good job taking care of those two up front. And if we do that, we're going to have an opportunity to get Derrick rolling.
Sunday's game will also be a battle of two rookie quarterbacks. Panthers quarterback Bryce Young was the #1 overall pick in this year's draft, with Will Levis coming shortly after him in the second round at number 33 overall.
He's a heck of a quarterback. It was really fun watching him, comparing myself to the other quarterbacks in the draft class. And he did some great things on Saturdays. He's been doing some great things on Sundays.
I got to spend time with him last year during the House commercial. Got to know him a little bit, and just talk to him. Happy for his success, and hopefully he don't have much this Sunday.
It's worth noting that Levis has been on the injury report. He was not at Tuesday's walkthrough. However, he was back at practice on Wednesday with the team, so a good sign. The Titans will have Thanksgiving Day off, get right back to work first thing on Friday. Reporting from the Titans practice facility, Jill Jolnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
All right, Jill, thank you so much. As you see Jill and all her hard work out there at the Titans facility. Of course, we've got a lot of games scheduled for you right here on Fox 17 News. Coming up here throughout the day, we've got NFL football starting at around 11:30. Then after that, we've got some college basketball as the Lady Volunteers taking on Indiana. That game is at 5 p.m. After that, we've got a college football triple header as things get kicked off with Ohio State against Michigan. Huge game in the college football world. Michigan favored to win by 3.5 points right now. That game is coming up on Saturday morning. Then the Tennessee Titans hosting the Carolina Panthers. That game at Nissan Stadium set to go for Sunday at noon of the Titans trying to stop their losing streak. Well, we've asked some of you, which game is the game that you're trying to see the most? By far right now, it's Ohio State versus Michigan. It's two undefeated college football teams. The winner is likely going to the college football playoff, so it's a big game. Almost 61% of you say that you're looking forward to seeing that. 31% of you say the Titans and the Panthers, and then after that, Lady Vols at Indiana. You can't miss because it's all right here on Fox. If you want to weigh in for yourself, you can do so on our Twitter or X page, whatever you prefer. You can find us at Fox Nashville. All right, 6:49 is the time. Brent Luna and I have been watching this particular picture really change across the city of Nashville throughout the morning, and we're talking about that fog that has been rolling in. Brent, we started in the 30s this morning in many parts of the mid-state, which has led to the concern that you had about the freezing fog.
Absolutely, Justin. And because of that, late last night, the National Weather Service, they went ahead and issued that freezing fog advisory. That's going to carry on over with us for about another hour or so. It's officially set to expire at 8 a.m. But like we've been talking all morning, once this sun starts to go up a little bit higher, that is really going to help get that fog out of here pretty quickly. So we don't have a whole lot longer to worry about this. And the rest of your Thanksgiving, honestly, looking really nice. Temperatures just a couple of degrees below normal for this time of year. There it is, though. Everybody in that turquoise color in that freezing fog advisory until 8 o'clock this morning. And freezing fog happens when you have the fog. You also have temperatures at or below freezing, and then those tiny super cooled liquid water droplets in the air, anything they hit, they can just instantly freeze on contact, and that can lead to some slick spots on some of the roadways, especially around the bridges and overpasses. So if you have to do any traveling early this morning, just be a little bit slower, be very careful, be smart out there, especially around the bridges and overpasses. Current temperatures, lower 30s for a lot of areas, some areas even in the 20s, 28 Columbia, 30 in McMinnville, 31. That's our current temperature right here in Nashville, so just a degree below freezing. Still seeing just a little bit of fog over in the western portion of Davidson County, a little bit down there around Lewis, Murray County too. The thickest of the fog, though, it's been over here in the eastern counties all morning long. Visibility for a lot of those spots, less than 1/4 of a mile or so. Combine that with those cold temperatures below freezing, could be seeing some freezing fog out in those areas. As far as any rain chance goes, not expecting any of that as we head through the next several days. We're going to have to wait until Sunday before we see our next rain chance. Mainly just some light rain showers that are going to try to move across Middle Tennessee from the morning hours on into the middle part of the afternoon for the current timing on that right now. The rest of Thanksgiving looking pretty good. Once we get past this fog, it's shaping up to be a good one for us. It is going to get a little bit cooler, though, early next week. High temperatures dropping down into the upper 40s Monday and Tuesday.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
F-18s flew above the clouds in Missoula last week in advance of a flyover at the Montana State football game. A squirrel in Illinois ate its way into a pumpkin, no word if it's still inside. A gorgeous sunrise over a foggy valley stands in contrast to the silhouette of a dead tree. And talk about peaceful. This drone captured amazing sunset shots over Lake Tahoe. Happy Thanksgiving.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning at 6:51. Let's take a look at I-24 Haywood Lanes. You make that drive out there this morning, you can see where the traffic is moving along without any pressure. We're doing just fine. Coming in from Antioch, this can normally be a very slow go, but not this morning. Doing well. Let's take a look at something else we're following, and that is the fog in certain areas. This is Vietnam Veterans Boulevard at Gallatin Pike. You can see some of that fog out there on Vietnam Vets, still very much in the air, still very much affecting drivers, a lot of the drivers with their lights on, and that is great advice in weather like this. Brett Luna will be along to tell us exactly when the fog will start to lift. He'll tell us more about that coming up in the next few minutes. Well, making turkey for Thanksgiving dinner can be a big responsibility. The CDC has some advice for you about how you can cook the bird properly. Now, the CDC says to avoid rinsing or washing the turkey before cooking it. They say washing raw turkey can spread germs to other foods. And if you're thinking about leaving the turkey out to thaw on the kitchen counter, first of all, if you're doing that on Thanksgiving Day, you're probably in rough shape. But the CDC says that can make the turkey unsafe because bacteria starts to grow inside of it and it causes problems later on. They also advise don't let other utensils come near the turkey when it's raw like that. And they also advise using a different cutting board. Don't forget, if your turkey is pre-cooked, the center must reach 165 degrees before it is safe to cook, or safe to eat rather. Safe to eat. Some lemurs at an Illinois zoo are celebrating the holiday season. We're going to take a closer look at some of their Thanksgiving feast when we come back.
Get owner loyalty cash.
6:56. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Well, there's a sight you don't see every day. And there is the Batman building. The sun is rising back behind it. Down below it, lots and lots of fog that is really starting to lift, but still causing problems down there on the roads in certain cases. We've got the very latest from Brett coming up here in the next few minutes. Before we get to him, though, let's talk about what's trending right now on our website at fox17.com. Okay. Higher snowfall predicted across Nashville this winter. Okay, just go take a breath and go breathe. We're going to be okay. You can read more about that on our website at fox17.com. And Tennessee Representative Andy Ogles, they're in Congress along with Senator Ted Cruz from Texas. They are filing a bill that will prevent punishment for not using preferred pronouns. You can read more about that story as well. It's all on our website at fox17.com. Brett, I'm going to resist asking you about the snowfall prediction. But you need to tell the people about this freezing fog advisory that's still with us.
Yeah, we'll hold off on talking about any of that snow because I can tell you we do have the freezing fog advisories in effect right now for all of Middle Tennessee. The official runtime on this is for about another hour. So this is going to go expire at 8 o'clock this morning. But everybody in that turquoise color, that is the freezing fog advisory. We have the fog. Combine that with these temperatures at or below freezing right now, and that could lead to some possible freezing fog development. We're at 32 degrees. That's right at freezing here in Nashville. Lower 30s out here in the east and our southwestern areas where we are seeing some of that thicker fog. Here's our visibility tracker. Anywhere you see that shade of red, that's indicating visibility values less than 1/4 of a mile. That's all the way from the Kentucky line down to the Alabama line. Tullahoma, Winchester, McMinnville, Cookeville, all included in that thicker fog. Also in the western side of Davidson County, still seeing some fog. That's going to run up a little bit across parts of Interstate 40, also up into I-24 as well. As we head through the later part of the day, though, overall, not too bad of a Thanksgiving for you. 57 degrees. That's my forecast high temperature for today. That puts us just a couple degrees below normal. Overall, just a little cooler than normal. And then early next week, it's going to start to really get cooler with high temperatures in the upper 40s.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get started here at Vietnam Veterans Boulevard at Gallatin Pike as you make that drive into town this morning. It's not slow. It's fine. It's just foggy conditions as you get out there so far. So please be advised about that. Don't let the fog catch you off guard. And just know some of that fog could cause some icy or slick conditions, especially on bridges and overpasses like Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. Basically, the whole thing is a ginormous overpass in certain cases. So we'll keep you up to date about anything going on out there. But right now, we're doing pretty well. Thanksgiving came a little early for some of the residents at the Brookfield Zoo. Yesterday, the staff at the Chicago Area Zoo provided Thanksgiving for the 2 ring-tailed lemurs there at the zoo. Now, the food was inspired by Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, which aired for the very first time 50 years ago. The lemurs snacked on the same thing that Charlie Brown and the gang snacked on back in the day: popcorn, toast, jelly beans, pretzel sticks, pies, and apple juice. So a happy Thanksgiving to the lemurs there at the Brookfield Zoo there just outside of Chicago. You can also see the Thanksgiving pies were 5 cents back then when the Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving came out. Good luck finding anything to eat anywhere for 5 cents these days. 7 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
And here we go. There's your live look outside. The fog is going to be the big story for us today. Really, for the next hour or so, we could be seeing a little bit of that patchy freezing fog. I'll have more details on that for you in just a minute.
Steer clear traffic this morning takes us to Vietnam Veterans Boulevard, where we are also seeing some of that fog outside. We're going to let you know if it's impacting your drive.
And the annual Turkey Trot, Music City Turkey Trot. We're going to have all those details coming up.
All right, Kylie, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News This Morning, your only local news source, live with you from 7 until 9. I'm Justin McFarland. Jen Waddell has the day off. Brett Luna does not have the day off. He's in today for Greg with a look at the forecast.
And Justin, you know, we started out in code red this morning. That is because of this potential for a little bit of freezing fog to develop for some of these areas. As it stands right now, though, this freezing fog advisory, everybody in turquoise color, that freezing fog advisory going to run until 8 o'clock this morning. So only about another hour to go or so on that. And really what we have is we have the fog, combine that with these temperatures at or below freezing, and you can get a little bit of that freezing fog. So we have those tiny, super cooled liquid water droplets that are in the air. The moment those make contact with anything, they can freeze, and that could lead to some slick spots on some of the roadways, especially around the bridges or the overpasses. So if you have to get out for the next hour or so, just be careful out there. Be smart around any of the bridges. Temperatures right now, lower 30s for a lot of us, right at freezing in Nashville, 32, 31 Crossville, Cookeville down to Tullahoma and to Lewisburg, 30 degrees in all of those spots too, 31 over in Dickson. And we're still seeing the thickest of the fog over here in our eastern counties. Everybody highlighted in that red color, visibility pockets 1/4 of a mile. So pretty thick over there. Also in the western side of Davidson County around parts of Interstate 24 and I-42, also seeing a little bit of that fog. 7-day forecast not looking bad at all for us, though, as we head on through the next several days. As far as any rain chance goes, 40% chance for showers on Sunday. That's about it. Upper 40s, though, a lot colder for Monday and Tuesday.
Steer clear traffic out there this morning. I want to show you a couple of different shots here that kind of contradict each other in a way. This is Vietnam Veterans Boulevard at Gallatin Road there on the north side of town coming down from Hendersonville. You can see the fog there is still very present on that road and on many other places. Briley Parkway as well. Also saw some heavy doses of fog, but it's not like this everywhere. Take a look. This is I-40 at Donaldson Pike. You need sunglasses over here because the sun is so bright. So that fog is starting to roll in and starting to affect different things happening across the midstate here. Once that fog moves out, Brett Luna will be here to let us know, but no major traffic tie-ups right now as you get your day started. Following some breaking news out of Kentucky this morning, that is where we are dealing with a train derailment that is causing evacuations because of it. CSX says that one of its trains derailed yesterday afternoon in the Rockcastle County area. At least 15 cars were involved, including 2 sulfur cars, which lost some of their contents. The Kentucky Emergency Management official says that the towns of Livingston and Piney Branch were under evacuation orders. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear has declared a state of emergency for that particular county, so more resources can be applied to that area. A CSX crew member was treated for minor injuries, but no one was taken to the hospital. Well, Metro Police say that a man faces several charges after they claim he fired 8 shots at another driver. This happened on Briley Parkway. The officers say that Douglas Alberto Angel Castillo was the passenger in a car that was trying to merge on to Briley Parkway from Gallatin Pike. According to the affidavit we received, the victim tried to block Angel Castillo's car from cutting him off. That's when officers say the suspect started to shoot, hitting the victim's car near the driver's side window and on the bumper. Now, they later caught up with him around the Gastonbury Road area there in South Nashville, just off of Briley. They took him into custody. According to the affidavit, listen now, he told officers he started to shoot because the victim threw a water bottle at him during traffic.
I don't even remember the accident. I just woke up in the hospital.
Switching gears to Operation Crime and Justice this morning. This is as a Nashville man is trying to take his case to social media of a hit and run that happened to him a few months ago. Now, as a result of that hit and run, he lost his shoulder and his arm, and the driver who hit him didn't even stop. Metro Police say they still have not found the person who hit Shane Johns back on August the 5th. They say that Johns was riding his motorcycle in Hermitage when a woman in a gold SUV hit him and then left. He says that he's going to have some more shoulder surgeries and had to have his shoulder and arm removed. Now, Johns took to social media to try and share his story in hopes of trying to find out who hit him. He says getting a prosthetic is really expensive. Now, Johns has gotten a GoFundMe page up on his social media platforms right now. You can find him at One Arm Seeker. You can also find a link to that website on our website, fox17.com. Well, we are continuing our coverage this morning as another suspected street racing leader turns himself in to police as this street racing takeover continues to be a big problem across the city. Metro Police have identified 21-year-old Isaiah Miller as an organizer for the street racing groups Valhalla. Now, Miller is being charged with hosting these events along with an unrelated theft charge as well. Well, ready, set, trot, as runners are lining up outside of Nissan Stadium for the 30th annual Music City Turkey Trot. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker is live for us down there right now with more on today's race.
Hey, Justin, I have to say, I did cross country and track in high school at the state and national level. Then I went on to college, and I have to tell you, I never once in my life woke up Thanksgiving morning to get out here and run the turkey trot. So I think this just goes to show how dedicated these people are. It's also very cold out here, so if you're planning to come out here, you want to dress warm, but of course you will warm up for that run. It's actually perfect running conditions out here. I am going to step out so you could see what we're looking at here. You could hear those jams already playing. The pickup tent is all set up. Some people are now gathering around that, coming in, but as you can see, not too many people here yet. That's because the 5K race or turkey trot does not start till 8 a.m. Then the 1 mile waddle will follow just 10 minutes later. Thankfully, the event is dog friendly and they can even run with you. Also, kids 16 and under can run the 5K for just under $25. So, of course, we want to keep you guys updated throughout the morning. We know that there's going to be a lot more people here at the Nissan Stadium. I've already seen lots of people dressed up. I've seen lots of dogs, the golden retriever right over there, and then even someone dressed in a turkey outfit. So people are in the holiday spirit out here. It seems like it's going to be a really nice day for this. But again, we're going to try to talk to some of those runners a little bit later in the morning when they start to gather more in the masses. But for now, live at the Nissan Stadium, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
It has impacted every aspect of my life. It's to the point I don't want to leave my home. I don't leave my home unless I have somebody with me.
Well, we have got the unusual case of a police officer fired for stalking. We're going to tell you what the woman who made the complaint says needs to happen to him next.
And we are still code red this morning, and that is because of this freezing fog advisory. This is officially set to expire at 8 o'clock. So we still have about another 50 minutes or so left on this freezing fog advisory. This happens when you get the fog combined with temperatures at or below freezing. Some of those super cooled liquid water droplets can freeze instantly on contact with things like bridges and overpasses, for instance. So if you have to travel this morning, just be very careful. Take it slowly. Be safe out there if you're driving this morning early. 30 degrees in Murfreesboro, also in Gallatin, Tullahoma, McMinnville, Cookeville, all at 30. We're at 32 right here in Nashville, so we are right at freezing here. But as the sun starts to get up a little bit higher, that fog is going to lift up and move out of here. We're not going to have to worry about that for a whole lot longer. Still, the thickest fog that we have is in our eastern counties. It's been like that all morning. Pockets of visibility less than a fourth of a mile in some of those areas like Tullahoma, Winchester, Cookeville, and we are expecting that to improve, though, pretty quickly once the sun keeps on coming up. No rain for us right now. We are all dry. We're going to keep it dry as we head through the rest of the day. No rain in the forecast for the next few days. And once we get past this fog, the rest of your Thanksgiving looking really nice. Temperatures just a couple degrees below normal. We're going to keep it mostly sunny and dry, though overall good. Saturday we're dry, and then Sunday I think we finally bring in our next chance for some showers here in Middle Tennessee.
A Dickson County woman tells us a White Bluff officer followed her, all while on duty. Amy Childress grew up in Dickson County, but in March, court records allege a domestic assault occurred with her estranged husband. From then on, she started noticing a White Bluff police officer following her. Childress says this happened all while Duke was working in his patrol car. Fox 17 News reviewed Duke's personnel files through a public records request, which shows Duke had been let go by the town of White Bluff. Now, the town of White Bluff confirms they terminated Duke because of her complaint.
It has impacted every aspect of my life. It's to the point I don't want to leave my home. I don't leave my home unless I have somebody with me.
Now, I requested all of Mr. Duke's personnel files through the White Bluff Police Department, saw her complaint for myself and his termination. Now, I also reached out to the district attorney's office. They are not commenting right now due to a pending criminal case on another matter with her estranged husband. But of course, at 8 o'clock, I will have the full story. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Amanda Chin, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
And coming up, Justin McFarland is making sure you're in the know as you hit the roads early this Thanksgiving morning.
Don't miss the Lazy Boy Black Friday.
7:15 is the time here on this Thanksgiving Day. We are thankful that you join us here each and every day on Fox 17 News, whether you watch us in the mornings or you watch us at the evenings or on the weekends where Brett Luna normally lives. We really do like providing news and information and weather information to you each and every day. This morning, you've been watching fog and the potential for freezing fog out there for many parts of the Mid-State.
That's right, and you've been doing a good job of helping me with that too, because you've had all your traffic cameras up, pulling up all the fog, so It's been good. It verifies what we're talking about, at least with the fog, so good deal on that. Also, this is that freezing fog advisory that we were just talking about. Everybody in that turquoise color, that freezing fog advisory officially set to go until 8 o'clock this morning. So you get the fog, combine that with temperatures at or below freezing, and what happens is some of that can freeze. You got those tiny super cooled liquid water droplets in the air. The moment they come into contact with something, they can instantly freeze on whatever surface that is. So if it's a bridge or an overpass, you really just got to be careful on a morning like this. You could run into a few isolated slick spots out there for about the next 45 minutes or so. And these temperatures are going to start to keep on going up, and as the sun goes up, that's going to help that fog lift too. So warming up is going to help, obviously, right at freezing here in Nashville. Still lower 30s in our eastern areas, and it's those spots over there where we're seeing some of the thickest fog this morning. Just that little small pocket still in western portions of Davidson County. Most of the areas are west of Interstate 65, though, pretty clear from the fog. But then look over here around the plateau, all the way from Winchester, Tullahoma up through McMinnville, Cookeville, Livingston, Crossville, all those areas with pockets of visibility less than 1/4 of a mile. So just be very careful if you're traveling, especially in that direction early this morning. No rain anywhere close to us on radar. We are all dry. We're going to keep it dry as we head through the next few days. That next rain chance doesn't arrive until Sunday. We'll have the chance for some showers to move through Sunday morning. That's going to keep on sliding across Middle Tennessee and southern Kentucky on through the early afternoon hours. And none of this really should be too strong. Just some light showers it's looking like right now. Shouldn't really cause too many issues for you. The rest of your Thanksgiving, once we get past this fog, shaping up to be really good. I think we're going to be dry as we head through the afternoon hours. Temperatures in the mid-50s for a lot of the afternoon. 57 our high temperature today, 58 degrees on Friday. And then we start to drop off as we head on into early next week. Highs in the upper 40s Monday and Tuesday.
7:18 is the time. Let's take a quick look at your steer clear traffic. This was an area where we were seeing a lot of dense fog a few moments ago. As a matter of fact, you can even read the TDOT sign right there. It says dense fog conditions, use caution, freezing fog possible, use caution. Thankfully, it has lifted here in this particular area, so no need for caution there. Wide open traffic out there this morning so far. Other areas, well, we continue to deal with it. That's Vietnam Veterans Boulevard at Gallatin Road. This is coming down from Sumner County. So Goodlettsville, Hendersonville, good morning to all of you. Looks like there's still some fog up there in that particular area of town. So far, though, no major crashes as people are being safe and sound on this Thanksgiving Day. Well, the Tennessee Titans have been on the road for nearly a month, but that finally comes to an end when the Titans come home on Sunday to host the Carolina Panthers at Nissan Stadium. The good news is the Titans are undefeated at home, and a big reason why is Derrick Henry. He plays well at Nissan Stadium in front of the home fans. Fox 17 News' Joe Jelnick has the very latest on the Titans' big ground game.
The Tennessee Titans struggled to get their run game going in their loss to the Jaguars, and running back Derrick Henry put the blame on himself. The veteran saying, "It's my fault. I need to be more efficient, specifically create more explosive plays when the ball is in my hands." Good news is the Carolina Panthers come into Nissan Stadium Sunday with one of the worst rush defenses in the league, giving up nearly 130 rushing yards per game. The key to taking advantage of that? Stopping two of their game changers, outside linebacker Brian Burns and defensive tackle Derrick Brown.
With the touches I get, just be more effective, be more efficient in those plays when the ball's in my hands, and trying to create explosives in any way possible. But I think efficiency has been my main focus.
Find ways to make sure we get 0-95 blocked. Those are two disruptive players, probably as disruptive as we've seen. We got to make sure we're doing a good job taking care of those two up front. And if we do that, we're going to have an opportunity to get Derrick rolling.
Sunday's game will also be a battle of two rookie quarterbacks. Panthers quarterback Bryce Young was the #1 overall pick in this year's draft, with Will Levis coming shortly after him in the second round at number 33 overall.
He's a heck of a quarterback. It was really fun watching him, comparing myself to the other quarterbacks in the draft class. And he did some great things on Saturdays. He's been doing some great things on Sundays.
I got to spend time with him last year during the House commercial. Got to know him a little bit, and just talk to him. Happy for his success, and hopefully he don't have much this Sunday.
It's worth noting that Levis has been on the injury report. He was not at Tuesday's walkthrough. However, he was back at practice on Wednesday with the team, so a good sign. The Titans will have Thanksgiving Day off, get right back to work first thing on Friday. Reporting from the Titans practice facility, Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
All right, Jill, thank you so much. Well, a traffic problem that caught some Nashville drivers off guard. We're going to tell you what some would say was precious cargo that was lost. Plus, the Music City Turkey Trot and 5K walk has become a big tradition for a lot of families across the Mid-States. You take a live look there from the starting line. We're going to tell you what time the race starts and what you can expect for this Thanksgiving tradition.
are still keeping it code red this morning because of the freezing fog advisory. That is officially set to expire at 8 o'clock this morning. We are starting to see some of that fog lift, though, so that is good news. Hopefully that'll keep on doing so pretty quickly, and I think it will now that that sun is up and out. But as it stands right now, freezing fog advisory is still in effect through 8 a.m. Could see a few slick spots. We have temperatures at or below freezing still for much of Middle Tennessee, right at freezing here in Nashville, 32. Lower 30s from Cookeville on down into Tullahoma, and that's where we are seeing some of the thickest fog developing right now. And again, you can get some of that freezing fog when you combine the fog with the freezing temperatures, and that could create some slick spots on especially areas like bridges and overpasses. So if you have to be out this morning, just be safe, be smart out there if you're driving around. Cookeville, McMinnville, Tullahoma, Winchester, all with some thick fog. Visibility tracker showing those visibilities less than about 1/4 of a mile in some spots. So just be safe this morning. 57 degrees, your high temperature for today. Overall, once we get done with the fog, I think the rest of your Thanksgiving shaping up to be a really good one this year. 59 is our average high, so not going to be too far below that, just a little bit on the cool side. And then we're going to see a big drop in our temperatures as we head on into early next week. Highs Monday and Tuesday only in the upper 40s.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Take a look at this. Thousands of travelers were leaving and arriving at Nashville International Airport. This video was taken from TDOT cameras along I-40, very close to the airport exit overnight. Around 8 p.m., you can see the long line of traffic. The backup lasted for well over a mile. Airport officials say this coming Sunday is expected to be one of their busiest traffic days or busiest airport days of the year as well. So heads up in that area if you are taking part of the airport experience in any way. As for right now, let's go to Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. This is in the Goodlettsville area. Goodlettsville, Gallatin Pike, you can see the fog continues to be a heavy problem in that area. Low visibility. Good news is no accidents out there to report, and it doesn't look like that everywhere. This is I-40 at 46th Avenue over in West Nashville and the Nations. Good morning and happy Thanksgiving to you. We are wide open out there on the interstates and even in the skies. No fog right now. Well, one of the things that was slowing people down in some of those travel plans was a rush hour crash that left a little bit of a mess, an unusual problem to deal with. Several cans and cases of spilled beer across Rosa Parks Boulevard in Nashville. Thankfully, multiple people hopped into the streets to help clear up this particular mess. You know, it's the volunteer state. We like to volunteer. And we get out there and we try to help out. I'm sure that's the motivation behind all this, not the free beer laying in the street. Holiday scammers could be on your shopping list this season. We're going to tell you how crooks are using downtown Nashville as a hunting ground. Plus, Fox 17 News is in a code red weather alert for you this morning. That's a live look there across downtown. We can finally see it. The fog has been with us in many parts of the mid-state this morning. Brett Luna will have a look at the forecast when we come back.
You're watching Fox 17 News this morning, your code red station.
And here we go. There's yet another live look at some of the fog that we have out there on some of these camera shots. Not quite as much, though, as we had earlier this morning. That's going to keep on lifting. Freezing fog advisories, they're still in effect. I'll have those details for you in just a bit.
Steer clear traffic out there this morning. This is going to be I-40 at 46th Avenue over in the Nations. Looking good. It's not looking this way everywhere, though. There is some fog coming in from certain locations. We're going to take you there coming up in the next few minutes. But thank you for joining us here. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. I'm Justin McFarland. Thankful to be here with you on this Thanksgiving Day. Jen Waddell has the day off. Let's get over to Brett Luna right now. He's got the latest look at the code red weather alert because of the fog in the area.
Yeah, Justin, we're going to keep it code red for a little bit longer. We saw that freezing fog advisory. That's for everybody that's in that color of turquoise. That's going to run until 8 o'clock officially, and that is because we have the fog combined with temperatures at or below freezing for a lot of Middle Tennessee, and that can lead to some slick spots. So what happens is those tiny, super cooled liquid water droplets that are in the air, anything that they come into contact with, they can freeze instantly, and that can create some of those slick spots, especially around bridges and overpasses. So if you are out on the roads early this morning, just be careful, be safe out there, take it a little bit more slowly, especially over those. We still have lower 30s in our eastern counties. We're at 32 here in Nashville, so that puts us right at freezing. 30 the current temperature over in Dickson. Not as much fog west of Interstate 65. Still the bulk of this, especially the thicker fog, that's going to be in our eastern counties. Everybody in red, so all the way from Winchester up through Tullahoma, McMinnville, Cookeville, Livingston, Crossville, also included in that shade of red. Pockets of visibility less than 1/4 of a mile in some of those areas, so just be safe out there this morning. Rain, not any of that anywhere close to us, and I think for the rest of Thanksgiving we're going to keep it all dry. Once we get done with this fog here in a little bit, we're going to be set up with a very nice rest of your Thanksgiving for you. If you have any outdoor plans, just a couple degrees cooler than normal. The next rain chance doesn't arrive until Sunday, then we're cooler for Monday and Tuesday.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get out to Vietnam Veterans Boulevard at Gallatin Pike. As you can see, traffic, well, maybe you can't see because there's fog, heavy fog all over that area there from Goodlettsville to Hendersonville, making that drive into the Rivergate area. No need to steer clear. This is just, the way it's going to be. The good news is, as of last check, there were no major crashes anywhere across downtown Nashville. People have been on their best behavior for the traffic so far. This is a look at Moore's Lane at I-65. This area is nice and clear right now, but I'm going to tell you why it won't be 24 hours from now, coming up in a few minutes. In Operation Crime and Justice, Metro Police are now searching for a suspect with killing, or charging a suspect with killing the man outside of the Truth Lounge. This happened back in February. Police say that Larrington Blacksmith shot Chandler Eddings after getting into some type of argument outside of that East Nashville bar. Now, Eddings died at the scene. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. The Metro Police Department are asking for your help identifying a woman who they say went on an illegal shopping spree at several Target stores. Police say that this woman right here stole a credit card from a man who was staying downtown and used it to buy $7,000 worth of gift cards. Now, they say that the woman waited until that man fell asleep and took his watch as well as his wallet. Officers say that she made buys at several Target stores. If you know who she is or recognize that car, you're asked to contact the police. Well, happening right now, runners are lining up outside of Nissan Stadium for the annual Music City Turkey Trot. Starts in less than half an hour. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker live out there this morning with the very latest on the big tradition for some of these runners.
Hey, Justin, yes, we're at the 2023 annual Turkey Trot. We've spoken to lots of people. I was just going to interview the race organizer. Not finding her at the moment. She's probably so busy. There's so many people here already. You could hear the jams right behind me. I do want to step out so you can see all that's going on here. We are at the starting line as of right now, but there's so much happening. There's energy drink stands here. There's plenty of runners. There's plenty of dogs. A lot of these dogs are partaking in the race with these runners. We're going to have a little bit more after speaking with people coming up in the next half hour, but it's just a really exciting day. A lot of people motivated to be out here. It is very cold, but since you are running, that isn't going to be much of an issue. We want to catch up with you guys, though, again in the next half hour, because we do know that that race starts at 8:15 a.m. And then just a little bit later, we will be having that 1 mile waddle. That will be just 10 minutes after that. But for now, live at Nissan Stadium, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, Dakota Red Station.
All right, Kylie, thank you so much. Well, up next on Fox 17 News this morning, if you need an alternative to all the Black Friday chaos, state parks has a list of hikes you can take part in. We'll tell you more about that. Plus, there are multiple events happening across the city of Nashville this morning. This is Belle Meade. It's the Boulevard Bolt. They're in their 30th year down there with a proud Thanksgiving tradition. People dress like turkeys and Santas, and they run 5 miles. We'll be right back.
This Black Friday, come to the
Fox 17 News this morning here with you on this Thanksgiving Day, a Thursday morning. Brett Luna taking a little bit of a break, but I've got to look at your weekend outlook here. On Saturday, looking for a high of 56 degrees, lows in the mid to upper 30s. Should be dry on Saturday. A possible shower on Sunday, though, as the Titans get set to take on the Panthers outdoors there at Nissan Stadium. So when Brett Luna gets back in a few minutes, we're going to ask him what time could that shower fall on Sunday? Could it impact the game? Also, freezing fog advisories have been in effect across much of the mid-state throughout the morning. He'll give us the very latest update on that. Steer clear traffic this morning takes us to I-65 at Moore's Lane here on the south side of town. Good morning, Franklin. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Right now, you're looking fine out there, but let me tell you, this time tomorrow could be a little bit more traffic out there because this is the exit a lot of people use to get to Cool Springs Galleria that will have special hours for all the Black Friday shoppers out there. So it could be a little busier than what we're seeing right now. That's coming up tomorrow. Let's go to Vietnam Vets at Gallatin Road. It's not as heavy with traffic right now, but it is heavy with fog. So please keep those lights on if you're traveling in and around the Hendersonville and Goodlettsville area until that fog moves out. Well, not everyone enjoys the chaos of all the Black Friday shopping out there. That's why the Tennessee State Parks will be hosting their annual Day After Thanksgiving hike. Now, this is a guided or self-directed tour where hikers will be able to travel through lots of Tennessee parks, taking place on November the 24th. And they are for all ages and abilities, from easy stroll to rugged excursion. I'm more of the easy stroll person myself. Among the many options are a hike through the beautiful Crystal Falls at the Pickett Memorial State Park. You can also take a 2-mile hike at the Bledsoe Creek State Park and many more. Park leaders say be sure to bring some sturdy hiking shoes, also a day pack, water, snacks, and make sure you check the weather before you get out there, please. Let's go to Belle Meade. That's where the annual Boulevard Bolt is taking place right now. Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey live there on the scene for us this morning. I've been out there to this many times. This event is organized by volunteers and has been going strong since 1994. So today, the Boulevard Bolt ranks among the largest 5-mile races in the country. Now, the event is helping to give back to homeless communities here in Nashville. The 2023 Boulevard Bolt is the 30th anniversary of this event. Now, real quick, before we go to break, they start this race, I believe, at 8 o'clock. I've been at this race several times. I have seen the race start and end within a half hour. So someone's going to run 5 miles in less than 30 minutes coming up here in a few. So it's always something to see out there in Belle Meade.
There are some Middle Tennessee truckers who will surprise you. Their specialty, well, it is going down the road, but it's also raising money. That story is next.
7:44 is the time here on this Thursday morning. Happy Thanksgiving to those of you waking up with us right here on Fox 17. As perhaps you are in the kitchen making that dinner, you've got the television on, and you're starting your day with us. We certainly do appreciate it. Brett Luna is in for Greg this morning. If you need to run to the store and pick up, whatever. And yeah, there are some stores open, very limited, but there are a few. What can people expect outside?
Overall, not too bad. We've had the freezing fog potential earlier. I think we're about to lose that threat. We'll give it another 30 minutes or so. Okay. But overall, not expecting too many more concerns with that. And then later on today, it just gets really good. We're going to be dry. Temperature is not too far off from normal either. As it stands right now, though, this freezing fog advisory, the National Weather Service went ahead and issued this late last night. It carried on over through this morning. It's set to expire at 8 o'clock. We still have some of these temperatures below freezing, though. I'll show you those here in just a second. So what happens is, with this freezing fog, you have the fog, you also have temperatures at or below freezing, and those tiny, super cooled liquid water droplets in the air, anything they come into contact with, it can instantly freeze on that. So that means that bridges, overpasses, things like that can get a little bit slick. So just be safe. Take it a little bit more slowly out there if you have to travel early this morning. We are starting to warm up, though, so this is good news. Lower 30s right at freezing now from Linden, Lawrenceburg, and to Lewisburg. Lower 30s also Tullahoma and McMinnville. Cookeville now right at freezing. That's where we're at here in Nashville. So we're not going to have to deal with this fog threat for a whole lot longer once we get these temperatures up a little bit above freezing. Visibility trackers still showing visibility issues less than 1/4 of a mile or so in our eastern areas. That's going to go all the way from Winchester to Tullahoma, up into McMinnville, Cookeville, Crossville. Pretty foggy in some of those spots. Not seeing any rain, though, and we're going to keep it dry as we head through the next few days. No rain in the forecast until we hit Sunday. We could see some showers arrive by about early to mid-morning or so. Those will keep on moving through and should be out of here by the later part of the afternoon. The good news, though, not expecting much thunder with any of this, so it should just be some light rain showers for us today, or for us on Sunday. Today will be dry. This is going to be overall a pretty good Thanksgiving for us once we get done with this fog. 58 on Friday, mid-50s on Saturday, and then we're down to the upper 40s Monday and Tuesday.
Stay clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get a good start here at I-40 at Spence Lane. As you make that drive out and about there on this particular Thursday morning, you can see the traffic moving along fine there just east of downtown. No big problems for you over in that direction. Let's take a look at the foggy conditions here. This is Vietnam Vets at Conference Drive. Where is it? I mean, you can't even see the lanes for the traffic out there this morning. So if you know this is part of your drive, you're getting out and about there in the Goodlettsville, Hendersonville, Rivergate, Madison area, this is part of your drive and things can be slow depending on where you are this morning. Well, a family-owned trucking business in Thompson Station has turned charitable giving into an art form. You could make the case that Trucking for a Cure spends as much time raising money for others as it does creating its own successful business. Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier has the story in today's Ferrier Files.
Giving is wonderful however you do it, but there's something especially impressive when the giving isn't just writing a check, it's raising the money.
It's a big day at the Shoney's in Lebanon. The people at Trucking for a Cure are about to make some local charities very happy. Tennessee Voices for Victims spent years working on a shoestring budget. The two people who did everything forfeited their own salaries to serve victims.
Valerie and I, over the last 10 years, there have been many times we'd look at each other and we'd say, you think God really wants us to be doing this? And then we'd talk a little bit and then we go, yeah, we think God wants us to be doing this work. And, you know.
And then he started opening doors, and this is the biggest door by far that he has opened, by far. I mean, we did nothing to earn this. They just saw the value of the work and were willing to support it.
Trucking for a Cure spends all year putting together an incredible golf tournament, an auction, and casino night out at Montgomery Bell State Park. 7 years ago, they began all this raising $5,000. It has been growing exponentially. This year, they raised $622,000 to be divided among 4 charities they love and believe in. Founder Toby Kemp.
It's definitely my passion. I mean, I run a business too. So when I'm off from that, this is what I want to do. You know, it's nice that our reward, you know, I tell everybody on the board, you know, most board members get paid from other foundations, but our paycheck is here today, joining these people and giving them some money to help their foundation. That's our paycheck. So it's just, makes you want to help them more.
Special Forces Charitable Trust Greenbrier supporting warriors and their families and all of their many, many needs. Rest Stop Ministry supporting women rescued from sex slavery. Scott Hamilton's CARES Foundation funding innovative cutting-edge cancer treatment. And Tennessee Voices for Victims. All given life-changing annual donations. And while Trucking for a Cure has many wonderful partners, this charity is driven by the trucking industry. The men and women who move things across America have been moved to serve, and the people they are serving are so grateful.
These are the salt of the earth. I mean, these are the people that make America run, and they understand the work behind doing that. And I think that's where their generosity comes from, is because they get it very differently than maybe somebody else who was just handed something. They've worked for it, and I think they believe in other people working for it.
Here's the kind of people they are. They gave us a thank you note today. Us a thank you note. When they spend a whole year working on that golf tournament, they're just so gracious and generous and hardworking, and we're very thankful.
How lovely.
There you go.
Oh my goodness.
Talk about a happy Thanksgiving. I'm Dennis Ferrier, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate it. Well, some people are already in the Christmas spirit, as the annual holiday tours of the Governor's Mansion will get started coming up on December the 1st for the Christmas season. Now, this year's theme is Heaven and Nature Sing. It will feature some of the decorations that show in the larger-than-life magical experience. You can also check out all of the tour dates that are available on our website, fox17.com. Well, listen up, parents. Santa is making a list and checking it twice. How to make sure your child's Christmas list will make it to the North Pole in time.
And it's been a little bit of a foggy start for us, depending on where you're at here in Middle Tennessee. Not seeing near as much on that camera now. That is starting to lift on out of here, and that's going to keep on lifting as we head through the next several minutes. More details, though, on what you can expect for the rest of your Thanksgiving in just a bit.
The right mattress makes it.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. We have got lots and lots of sports action coming up here over the next few days. We're going to kick it off with the literal football kickoff happening here between the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. That game is at 11:30 right here on Fox 17. That's followed by some men's college basketball. It's Michigan State taking on Arizona. Then the women get in on the action. Tennessee's Lady Vols basketball team taking on the Indiana Hoosiers. Then on Friday, we get going with some college football. 11 a.m., we've got TCU, the Horned Frogs, taking on Oklahoma in the final game of their Big 12 matchup. And then we've got Oregon State taking on Oregon. Big game of a couple of rivals out there in the West. That game starts at 7:30. Then check this out. Saturday, Ohio State, Michigan. Does any more need to be said about these two teams? Undefeated. They take on each other. That game starts at 11 a.m. Huge rivalry. Then 2:30, Washington State takes on Washington. I believe they call this one the Apple Bowl out there in Washington. That game's at 2:30. Then Iowa State takes on Kansas State. Then on Sunday, we've got the Titans in on the action. The Carolina Panthers coming to town to take on the Two-Tone Blue. That game starts at noon. Ooh, lots going on. Let's get to Brett.
Whole lot going on for you, Justin. And, you know, we've had some dense fog across parts of Middle Tennessee earlier this morning. That freezing fog advisory, just saw that the National Weather Service is going to let that expire at 8 a.m. So once the clock hits 8, all those counties highlighted in that turquoise color, that's going to disappear. So we're really not going to have to worry about that for a whole lot longer. However, dense fog is still going to be possible in some of our eastern counties as we head through the next couple hours. So we are just going to keep it code red through the rest of this morning's show. Temperatures right now, you see it lower 30s for a lot of areas. Some areas up to the mid 30s now. We're at 36 here in Nashville. We're not going to have to deal with any of that freezing fog. And then over here in our eastern areas, this is where we've seen the thickest fog. Those temperatures are in the lower 30s now, so they're just about to bump up above freezing. And areas of red over there, that's where we still have that thickest fog. This is our visibility tracker. Less than 1/4 of a mile for some pockets around the eastern part of the viewing area, closer to the plateau. The rest of Thanksgiving, though, looking really good for you. No rain in the forecast. 57 degrees, just a couple degrees below normal for this time of year. And as we head on into this weekend, overall not too bad. Saturday we're dry. Sunday we bring in a slightly better chance for showers, and then our temperatures take a dip for early next week. We're going to be down to the upper 40s Monday and Tuesday.
Steer clear traffic out there for you. Let's take a good look at what we're facing here at Vietnam Veterans Boulevard at Conference Drive. Still dealing with some of that fog out there in that particular area as you make that drive down from Rivergate, Goodlettsville, Hendersonville. Has been with us now for several hours. You may be able to even read it there through the sign. They are warning people about that fog possibility out there on the road. So we'll continue to keep an eye on it. Brent just told you when it could be leaving us, but right now looks like it's holding steady there in Sumner County. We're close to it. Operation Santa is now underway at the United States Postal Service. This week marks the earliest kickoff for the 111-year-old program. It helps to ensure that children's letter to Santa makes it there to the North Pole, and also with the help of the elves and other human helpers who assist with the gifts. To participate, kids need to use their full name, a return address, and a stamp, and Santa's correct address. The Postal Service says that if it's 123 Elf Road, North Pole, with a zip code of 88888, should make it just fine. Did you know Santa's address? I didn't know that. Okay. Let's get to our website, fox17.com. You find out something new each and every day, like Santa's address, or perhaps the very latest on the possibility of snow coming here to Nashville this winter. They are predicting higher than normal snow levels across the mid-state this winter. All right, then. You can read more about at our website, fox17.com. Also, Tennessee Congressman Andy Ogles making some news as he, along with Senator Ted Cruz of Texas, are filing a bill to prevent federal punishment for not using the preferred pronouns. You can read more about that on our website as well, fox17.com. We've got the very latest on that. Plus, all of your Black Friday shopping information is listed there as well. Our 8 o'clock hour on Thanksgiving Day starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
And we're starting out with another live look. The sun has come up and that fog has lifted, especially here in Nashville. Other parts of the mid-state still dealing with some of that fog. I'll show you where here in just a bit.
Steer clear traffic out there. It's moving, but it's hard to see. It's on Vietnam Vets. The fog certainly taking a toll on that area. We'll tell you more coming up in a few. And there are lots and lots of events happening across Music City today. This is a live look at the Boulevard Bolt out there in Belmead. That's where someone is going to dust off 5 miles in 30 minutes. I've seen it happen. We're going to tell you about where all the money is going from that great event coming up here a little bit later. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I'm Justin McFarland, thankful to be here with you in my hometown, broadcasting the news live with you from 7 until 9. Let's talk to Brett Luna. He is standing by with a look at your forecast as we got you going here on this Thursday.
And Justin, I've been showing this map all morning long, and it has been lit up with that turquoise color. That has all disappeared, though. That freezing fog advisory has now expired, so not really going to have to deal with any of that anymore. However, down here, Lincoln, Moore, Franklin County still in that dense fog advisory. That's going to run until 10 a.m. But as far as the freezing fog goes, I think we're pretty much in the clear from any of that now. So that is some good news for us for your Thanksgiving. Temperatures in the lower 30s to mid 30s, depending on where you're at. 36 Nashville, lower 30s still Tullahoma up through Crossville, 32, so right at freezing up there in Cookeville. Here's our visibility tracker. West of Interstate 25, not quite as bad, but we do have pockets of fog, some of it dense too, west of Interstate 65. And then as we head out a little bit further to the east, that's where we see some of the thicker fog. All that area in red, visibility, at least pockets of it, could be less than a fourth of a mile or so. As far as any rain goes, not having to deal with any of that. Thanksgiving looks really good too. Temperatures are going to be very close to normal, and we'll have more details for you on everything else, including that 7-day in full detail coming up in just a bit.
All right, Brett, thank you so much. Well, happening right now, the Music City Turkey Trot is underway. Let's get out to Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker, who's live for us this morning at Nissan Stadium. Kylie?
Hey, so exciting out here. The race just started a couple of minutes ago. People in the back are just kind of walking. Those runners took off probably 2 minutes and 40 seconds ago. But it's so much fun watching everyone. Everyone has costumes on for this turkey trot. There is a 1 mile waddle after this. There's plenty of dogs. I think my favorite part is them barking at each other while they're out here running. I am going to step out so you can see kind of what we're looking at. Oh, here's another dog right here. Hello. Good job. Keep it up. Now, we want to tell you guys that we did speak with some runners before this race started. Earlier this morning, I spoke with Nashville runner Will Clark, who says his whole family flew out to Nashville to see him for Thanksgiving here in Nashville. And he was even able to convince all of them to wake up early and get out here with him today.
Thankful for family, thankful for my dog, Moonshine. He's running with us today. Thankful for life.
How far could Moonshine run?
He could go for miles, yeah. This is not his first race. He's been doing this a while.
Is he gonna run at a 5:30 pace, do you think?
4:30, yeah. He's going quick today.
And breaking news here, we have the Grinch and Gingerbread Man also partaking in this walk. We have a couple of really cute dogs right there. I think those are Australian Shepherds. As I mentioned, people all dressed up. Very fun and exciting day. Wish you guys were out here in the ones in studio, but it's so fun. It's starting to warm up as well.
Kylie Walker out there live for us this morning at the turkey trot. I think Kylie is thankful for dogs. I think. Let's go to Belmead. That is where the Boulevard Bolt is also getting ready to get started. If it hasn't started already, it's been going on since 1994. The Boulevard Bolt ranks among the largest 5-mile races in the country. The event is helping to make sure that Nashville's homeless communities have what they need as we enter the winter season. The 2023 Boulevard Bolt is the 30th anniversary of this annual Thanksgiving Day event, where they too, a lot of them anyway, dress up as turkeys or other Christmas characters as they make their way towards the starting line there in Belmead. Let's get to steer clear traffic out there this morning. This is going to be I-40 at Spence Lane, making that drive in from the east side. No problems out there. We're doing very, very well. It's only certain pockets where we're starting to run into that fog, like here at Vietnam Veterans Boulevard and Conference Drive. We've seen the fog not just at Conference, but also in Gallatin Road. We started earlier this morning in places like the Briley Parkway area near County Hospital Road and Ashland City Highway. But right now, we're doing okay. No major crashes out there to slow you up in any direction. Just watch out for the fog as it does come through occasionally. Following breaking news this morning from the state of Kentucky, that is where evacuations are now underway following a train derailment. Now, CSX says that one of their trains got off the tracks yesterday afternoon in the Rockcastle County area. At least 15 cars were involved, including 2 sulfur cars, which lost some of its cargo. The Kentucky emergency management officials say that the town of Livingston and Piney Branch are currently under evacuation orders. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear also declared a state of emergency there in Kentucky, so more resources could be applied to the area. A CSX crew member was treated for minor injuries, but no one has been hospitalized. Well, Metro Police say that a man is facing several charges after they claim he fired 8 shots at another driver on Briley Parkway. Now listen to this. Officers say that Douglas Alberto Angel Castillo was the passenger in a car trying to merge on to Briley Parkway from Gallatin Pike in Madison. According to the affidavit, the victim tried to block Angel Castillo's car from cutting him off, and that's when officers say the suspect started to shoot at the victim's car, hitting the driver's side and a window as well as a bumper. Now, they later caught up with him over near Gastonberry Road at Briley Parkway. That's over on the south side of town. They took him into custody. According to the affidavit, he told officers he started shooting because the victim threw a water bottle at him while they were in traffic. Well, let's talk about something in high demand for Thanksgiving, and that's dressing. How much would you pay to get a pan of your favorite dressing? We're going to tell you how much Jelly Roll is willing to pay when we come back.
And we started out very foggy across a lot of Middle Tennessee early this morning. On that camera shot, though, not seeing near as much fog as what we had earlier. A lot of that has lifted. Some spots, though, still dealing with a little bit of dense fog. I'll show you where that is here in just a little bit.
Either it my way or it's
8:10 is the time. Let's get to Brent Luna. He's got a look at your forecast as we get you going here on this Thanksgiving Day.
Justin, good news for you. That freezing fog advisory that we had in effect, that expired at 8 a.m., so not going to have to really deal with that anymore. However, for our far southeastern counties, Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin County, we do have that dense fog advisory now, so still some thick fog over there, and also a little bit further north of that, too. Our eastern counties are still seeing some fairly thick fog. Here's our current temperatures, though. A lot of these areas pushing a little bit above freezing now. 36 in Nashville, right at freezing down in Lewisburg, 30 there, 30 in Tullahoma. Same goes for McMinnville, 31. That's the current temperature over in Crossville. So that sun is really helping out. That fog is starting to lift. Not going to have to deal with that for much longer at all. The thickest of the fog is still over here in our eastern areas, though, and there's going to be several pockets with visibilities lower than 1/4 of a mile possibly. So just be careful if you still are having to travel out in those areas. No rain that we have to worry about for Thanksgiving overall. Everything shaping up to be pretty good for us later on today.
Steer clear traffic. Let's take you to Vietnam Veterans Boulevard near New Shackle Island Road. As you can see, traffic moving along despite the fact there's some light fog in the area, but no crashes out there on the roads for you so far. Well, let's talk about a big story that's been trending on our website. The last-minute shopping scramble turned into a trending moment for country music star Jelly Roll. As restaurants and shops were shutting down, Jelly Roll realized he'd never picked up his favorite side dish for Thanksgiving. That's when he went to TikTok for some help. Fox 17 News' Megan O'Halloran has the story.
All right, y'all, I f***ed up and I need your help. I'm a husband, so I did what husbands do. I told my wife I would take care of the dressing because I wanted it from my favorite restaurant. And then I waited until the day before Thanksgiving to call for the dressing. I can't get nobody on the phone for the dressing.
Jelly Roll, in a bit of a pinch before Thanksgiving, resorted to TikTok to track down his favorite restaurant and offered to pay a generous price.
We need help. Please, if you have a contact at Bar's Music City Soul Food in Nashville, it's the best dressing ever. Tell that lady I will give her $1,000 for 2 pans of Bar's Music City Soul Food dressing for my family on Thanksgiving. Somebody in Nashville knows this lady. Please help me.
After that, the comments came pouring in. Pirate Baby writes, "Y'all, Bunny is gonna hurt this man if he doesn't bring the dressing. Save Jelly, find the dressing." Another fan, Lucas, said, "This is a reminder of how poor I am. $1,000 for some dressing, more like $0, and I'm stressing." Melody Rather said, "I'll make you 2 pans. I'm in Murfreesboro. I can even deliver." It didn't take long for Bar's Music City Soul Food to get the message.
The phone has been jumping off. We've had over 200 calls, people calling in from all over the country. My motto is, if they come to that door, I don't want to tell them no. No matter who it is.
Dude, I can't wait to try it.
Absolutely, you're gonna love it.
Jelly Roll sent his main man Boston in to pick up the order, along with this message.
Yo, tell Fox 17 I'm sorry. Tell the Bar's family I'm sorry I didn't come pick it up myself. I'm in the studio. I'm recording right now. Thanksgiving Eve, baby, working to make this dream come true.
Megan O'Halloran, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Wow, just wow. This is all thanks to the power of celebrity. Many of the people who say they called that restaurant planning to stop in to try some of that Music City soul food the next time they come to Nashville, I think they may have to start serving that dressing year round.
It has impacted every aspect of my life. It's to the point I don't want to leave my home. I don't leave my home unless I have somebody with me.
The unusual case of police officers being fired for stalking. We're going to tell you what the woman who made the complaint says needs to happen up next.
Do you think the
8:16 is the time. Fox 17 News is investigating the case of a Dickson County woman who says that a White Bluff police officer stalked her. And this all happened on the taxpayer's dime. It's something like this that she says still keeps her up at night. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chen has been working hard on this story and has the very latest.
Amy Childress grew up in Dickson County and had always loved it there. In March, court records allege a domestic assault occurred with her estranged husband. From then on, she claims she started noticing White Bluff police officer Jeremy Duke following her. And while Childress says the assistant White Bluff police chief and several county deputies responded to that March domestic assault call, Duke had never been assigned to this case.
From that night, I had already contacted the detective as well as the chief of White Bluff and told them that he was stalking and following me.
Childress says she saw texts between her husband and Duke confirming her suspicion.
I went to eat at a Mexican restaurant and parked the vehicle in a location where he couldn't just drive by. And while at the restaurant, we noticed his patrol car circling the vehicle I was in. From that point, I proceeded home about 30 minutes later, and he was parked observing me on Highway 70.
Childress says this happened all while Duke was on duty in his patrol car.
I had gotten to a point where I wasn't leaving the house. I was pretty much staying in the home.
Fox 17 News reviewed Duke's personnel files through a public records request, which shows Duke had been let go by the town of White Bluff. I requested a sit-down interview with the White Bluff police chief. Instead, we received a statement from the town saying, the town received a complaint from Miss Amy Childress against former officer Jeremy Duke on March 22, 2023. Based upon that complaint and the internal investigation stemming from the same, Mr. Duke was suspended on March 24, 2023, and then terminated from his employment with the town on March 28, 2023. The town has no further comment at this time. But Childress says she's frustrated because she's been emailing, calling, and messaging the district attorney's office, begging for prosecutors to investigate Duke's conduct since March.
There has been zero response on answering my question, and I have sat down with them, I have sent text messages, I have sent emails, and I sent a most recent email this past Friday, and still no response.
Childress says she can't emphasize enough how terrifying this experience has been for her.
It has impacted every aspect of my life. It's to the point I don't want to leave my home. I don't leave my home unless I have somebody with me. My level of trust for all the way from the DA's office to judges to law enforcement, it's gone. And naturally, my trust would be gone.
Fox 17 News also reached out to District Attorney General Ray Crouch's office to ask if he plans to launch an official investigation. Crouch says my office has a criminal prosecution which is set for trial, and any comment requires me to discuss facts, evidence, and the credibility of witnesses in the upcoming trial. Ethically, I cannot and will not do that. I will say that each of Mrs. Childress's complaints have been heard by the Dickson County Grand Jury.
It has taken me reaching out to Fox to get any sort of leadway in this situation.
I followed up again and asked if his office plans to investigate the former White Bluff police officer for his actions. I am waiting on a response.
Fox 17 News' Amanda Chen joins us here right now in studio. So, Amanda, I understand you received some phone calls about this particular story.
Yes, of course. And I just want to be clear and transparent with everyone that we did receive some calls days prior to airing this story. And we do want to say that through TBI records, we know that she does have some criminal charges against her, the most recent from 2017, but all of these documents that we reviewed for this specific story have been verified. So I just want to be clear on that. Now, we also did receive a statement from the attorney representing Childress's estranged husband, Reese Hawley, and I do want to read that. It says in part, Mr. Claiborne denies any and all wrongdoing, whether civil or criminal. He thanks everyone that has offered their support and positive comments in this difficult time. So just wanted to read that statement as well.
So if you want to read the full statement for yourself and see more coverage on this particular story, you can do so on our website at fox17.com. Thank you, man. Well, let's get to Brent Luna. He's got a look at your forecast here as that fog advisory starting to...
It's getting better. I mean, the freezing fog advisory is pretty much gone. That expired at 8 o'clock. So technically code red, but really, I think the main threat is over with. We're just going to go ahead and finish it out, though, until the show is over, because we still could see some areas of dense fog. We have that dense fog advisory right there. Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin counties, that's going to go until 10 o'clock this morning. But as far as the freezing fog chance goes, I think we're pretty much over and done with that. Temperatures right at freezing for some of these spots out further east. 32s in McMinnville, Tullahoma. Nashville, we're at 36. So overall, not too bad right here. Still foggy, though, for a lot of areas, especially out here in our eastern counties. Everybody in that shade of red, we're still seeing visibility, at least pockets of it, less than 1/4 of a mile. So just take it a little bit slower if you're traveling out that direction this morning. As far as any rain goes, none of that. We're going to keep it dry all the way through the next couple of days, and then by Sunday, we finally bring in a better chance for some showers. And then after that, it's several dry days after Sunday. It is going to get cooler, though. Monday and Tuesday, we'll be looking at high temperatures in the upper 40s.
When we come back, we'll get to your steer clear traffic, as that's a live look at I-40 at American Road in West Nashville. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Fox 17 News this morning rolls on in just a few.
My husband and I.
Well, we are starting out code red, but really I think that threat for the freezing fog is pretty much over and done with. I don't really think we're going to have to worry about it a whole lot longer. We're just going to let that go until 9 o'clock, though, the code red, and then after that we are all done with it. We do have the dense fog advisory, though, in effect for Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin counties. That's going to run until 10 a.m., but again, that freezing fog advisory, that was allowed to expire at 8 a.m. No freezing fog threat, really. Temperatures are at or above freezing in most locations now. 32 McMinnville, Tullahoma, Cookeville at 32 as well. We're at 36 right here in Nashville. So a chilly start to the morning. Things are going to get better, though, later on this afternoon. It's still some low visibility over in our eastern areas. Everybody in that shade of red, pockets of visibility less than 1/4 of a mile. So if you are traveling over there in our more eastern areas, anywhere like Tullahoma, Winchester, McMinnville, Cookeville, Livingston, Crossville too, just be safe out there. Take it a little bit more slowly, maybe, traveling through that fog. 57 degrees, our forecast high temperature for today in Nashville. That puts us just a couple of degrees below normal for this time of year. But once the fog's out of here, the rest of the day is shaping up to be a really good one for us. Monday and Tuesday, it's going to get colder, highs in the upper 40s.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get out to Vietnam veterans. Oh, I forgot about this. We want to show you this for sure. Thousands of travelers were leaving and arriving at Nashville International Airport. This happened just last night. This video was taken from the TDOT cameras along and near I-40 at the airport exit Wednesday night around 8 p.m. Now, the backup lasted for well over a mile. Airport officials say this Sunday is expected to be one of their busiest days of the year. But again, this video from last night, as you can see, there was quite the backup there at BNA as many travelers started to come and go. As a matter of fact, BNA reported 35,000 people departed BNA yesterday alone. And again, they're expecting similar numbers coming up on Sunday. Now, how about this morning's steer clear traffic? Let's take a look here. Vietnam Veterans Boulevard at New Shackle Island Road. As you can see, traffic moving along here, even though we do have that light fog that is still in the area. Thankfully, it is not causing big slowdowns out there on the road. And we are also watching other areas of town. That includes 24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. We're clear right now. This time tomorrow, could be a lot more traffic out that direction. I'll explain why coming up here very soon. There are multiple events happening across Music City this morning. Fox 17 News is there, keeping you in the know at the Music City Turkey Trot, as well as the Boulevard Bolt. We've got looks from both scenes up next. Plus, holiday scammers could be trying to shop on your dime this holiday season. We're going to tell you how police say crooks are using downtown as their hunting ground.
Let the outdoor professionals at... You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
We're at the finish line. People are almost to the end of the annual Music City Turkey Trot. Those details coming up.
I'm not really a runner, but kind of good running weather, I would assume. It's a little bit chilly out there, and we had some fog early this morning. That has lifted, not really seeing a whole lot on those cameras anymore. Still a little bit of fog out further east. I'll have that look for you in just a bit.
Steer clear traffic this morning takes us to 24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. Not your usual drive. It's Thanksgiving Day, after all. We're going to tell you about some other areas that do see some minor problems coming up in a few. Well, thank you for joining us here. Last half hour of Fox 17 News this morning. Ready, set, go. Or your Thanksgiving Day. I'm Justin McFarland. We are going to begin with code red weather because we were dealing with some of this fog that moved in overnight. Brett has the very latest.
Yeah, and good news on that. That freezing fog advisory was allowed to expire at 8 a.m., so we're not really going to have to deal with that any longer. We're just going to let the code red go until 9 o'clock. We could still be seeing some dense fog over in our more eastern areas. We do have this dense fog advisory in effect until 10 a.m. That's going to be for Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin counties. So if you have any travel plans down in that area, just take it a little bit more slowly if you do come across any of that fog. Temperatures at or above freezing for most locations now. 32 from Cookeville down to McMinnville, 32 in Tullahoma as well. We're at 36. That's our current temperature in Nashville. As far as the fall goes, not seeing as much of that west of Interstate 65, just that little small pocket in western portions of Davidson County. But the bulk of this is where it stayed all morning long. It has been pretty thick over there in our eastern counties. So Winchester, Tullahoma, on up to McMinnville, Cookeville, Crossville, still seeing some pretty thick fog. Pockets of visibility less than 1/4 of a mile or so in those areas. No rain right now on radar. We are all dry. The rest of your Thanksgiving is going to stay dry too. Temperatures in the 50s as we go through the afternoon, just a couple degrees below normal. A rain chance on Sunday, 40% chance for just some rain showers. No thunderstorms really. Monday, Tuesday, highs in the upper 40s.
8:33 is the time. Let's take a look at that steer clear traffic. This is Vietnam Veterans Boulevard at Conference Drive. As you make that drive into town, you can see where traffic is moving along out there this morning, but there is that fog out there in the air. This fog has been pretty persistent there along Vietnam Vets. It's been with us through most of the morning. Brett telling us that it will start to dissipate here before long, but right now still hanging out with us. Other areas down, not too bad. This is 24 Waldron Road, and from Laverne, normally this is packed, but right now we are free and clear. Well, happening right now, runners are already starting to cross the finish line at the annual Music City Turkey Trot at Nissan Stadium. That's where we find Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker with more on some of the racers today, and maybe even some of those crossing the finish line as we speak.
Yeah, everyone behind me, that was a close one, is really finishing the race. We are right at the end of it. We're about just over 30 minutes in, so these are kind of the ones that were half walking, half running. And I did mention earlier in the show, I was a cross-country and track runner at the state and national level, but I never ran a turkey trot. Now I'm kicking myself for it because this is absolutely amazing out here. The energy is great. So many cute dogs finishing this race. So many people dressed up, families out here for Thanksgiving. It's just great vibes out here. I want to step out so you can see just the end. A lot of people are cheering on their loved ones. I also want to tell you about the winner. Now, he finished around 15:30, second place 15:40. The first female finished at 18:04, and the first dog 18:11. So again, this is just over a 3-mile race. And while some were taking the race very seriously, others were just looking to have fun while burning some calories.
I usually run the Boulevard Boat. I've been running that for years. So a buddy of mine, he said, hey, I'm going to run the turkey trot. And I've run this a couple of times, and I just thought it's a great way to, knock off some calories, get some exercise in, and then I can eat what I want.
And a live look here. We got a turkey almost finishing. We have that dog there, eyes on the prize. He's just about to finish. Like I said, it's so much fun out here. Hopefully you are able to make it next year if you couldn't this year. But we're going to get back to all of this fun stuff. So we're going to let you guys go and send it back to studio for now. Kylie Walker in Nashville reporting for Fox 17 News.
All right, Kylie, sounds like a party out there. Thank you so much. Switching gears now, Operation Crime and Justice. Metro Police are searching for a suspect charged with killing a man outside of the Truth Lounge back in February. Police say that Laurington Blacksmith shot Chandler Eddings after getting into some type of argument outside of the East Nashville bar. Now, Eddings died at the scene. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. Metro Police are looking for the person who they say went on an illegal shopping spree at several Target stores. Police say that this woman we're going to show you right here stole a credit card from a man who was staying downtown and used it to buy $7,000 worth of gift cards. They say that she waited until that man fell asleep and then took his watch and his wallet. Officers say she made lots of buys at several Target stores. If you know that car or know that woman, you're asked to call police. Well, if you need an alternative to all the Black Friday chaos that's coming up tomorrow, State Parks has a list of things they would like you to consider. Plus, we're going to take a live look at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York City. Around 16 ginormous balloons are going to go floating by. Is this one of them? No, that's just a pumpkin. That's not like a really big one. We've got the very latest on this Thanksgiving tradition, 97 years in the making, as we continue on.
All the nonsense.
And we're just going to let it go ahead and be code red until the 9 o'clock hour hits. We were code red earlier this morning for the freezing fog. That has since 8 o'clock, not really been a threat for us. Our temperatures at or above freezing for a lot of these spots now. However, so the freezing fog advisory, that is canceled. It expired at 8 a.m. We do have a dense fog advisory in effect still for our far southeastern areas. This is for Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin counties. That dense fog advisory is set to run until 10 o'clock this morning. But here's our temperature map, and you see a lot of these areas above freezing now. Some areas right at freezing, 32 Murfreesboro, 32 in Tullahoma. Same goes for McMinnville. Here in Nashville, we're still at 36, so several degrees above freezing. As far as conditions go west of Interstate 65, not seeing a whole lot of fog. Right here, though, in western Davidson County, visibility there less than a mile or so. That's just in that small little pocket. The thickest fog, this is where it stayed all morning long over in our far eastern areas. So areas like McMinnville, Cookeville, Crossville, down into Tullahoma and Winchester, we're still seeing some of that thick fog. If you have to travel to any of those locations, be sure to just play it safe out there too. Be paying attention. Visibility could drop down to less than a fourth of a mile if you get caught up in any of the thick fog. No rain on the radar. We are all dry, and that's how we're going to stay through the rest of the day too. Temperatures in the 50s later on this afternoon. Overall, a very nice Thanksgiving for you.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning at 8:41. Quick look at Vietnam Veterans Boulevard near Conference Drive. There coming down from Goodlettsville, you can see traffic moving along very well. We do have some light fog in place. It's been with us throughout the morning, but thankfully, it really hasn't caused that many issues at all, even though it's there with us here. It doesn't look like this all over the city, just in certain sections. For instance, this is 65 at Trinity on the north side. As you can see, traffic wide open out there. Good to see on this Thanksgiving morning. Well, not everyone is going to enjoy the chaos surrounding Black Friday shopping, and that's why Tennessee State Parks will be hosting their annual After Thanksgiving hike. Now, the guided or self-directed hikes will take place coming up tomorrow on November the 24th, and the hikes are for all ages and abilities, and they range from easy stroll all the way to rugged excursions. I'm more of the easy stroll character myself. Among the many places that you can hike are the Crystal Falls at the Pickett Memorial State Park. You can also enjoy a 2-mile hike over at the Bledsoe Creek Park and many more. Now, park leaders say be sure to bring several things. First of all, sturdy hiking shoes, okay? Make sure to pack some water, also snacks to eat on the trail, and make sure to check in with the weather forecast before you get out there, please.
There are some Middle Tennessee truckers who will surprise you. Their specialty, well, it is going down the road, but it's also raising money. That story is next.
Hey folks, it's me, Rocky.
8:45 is the time here on this Thanksgiving Day. Thank you so much for starting your day with us, as a lot of people are probably listening to us instead of watching us because they're in the kitchen. They're trying to, get things ready to go here. So, Brett says, continue, carry on.
Absolutely.
No need to stop on our account. How are we looking outside, sir?
Justin, we're looking a whole lot better now than we were earlier this morning. We had the chance for, the freezing fog. That's why we're code red. We're just going to let it run through 9 o'clock. But the freezing fog threat is pretty much over with. We're not really going to have to deal with any more of that. However, there will be some pockets of dense fog still that stick around with us. This is the freezing fog advisory map. I was showing this map all morning. All our counties here in Middle Tennessee lit up with that. That expired at 8 a.m. So good news there. Our far southeastern counties, that's Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin counties, still in that dense fog advisory there. That's going to run until 10 o'clock this morning. Areas further east and north of that too, kind of thick fog. I've been having issues with that all morning over there this morning. Temperatures right now, we are in the 30s for most locations. 36 right here in Nashville, so a little warmer here. 36 now in Cookeville. 32, that's the current temperature over in McMinnville. So a lot of these areas at or above freezing now, so more good news on that front. Here's that thick fog I was talking about. Everybody highlighted in that shade of red. Visibility, at least pockets in that area, could be dropping down to about 1/4 of a mile or so. So just use caution if you're traveling in those areas. This is back here in western Davidson County, kind of right over Interstate 40 and a little bit closer up to Interstate 24 as well. We are still seeing that little pocket of a little bit heavier fog, visibility there about a mile or so. No rain for us anywhere close to us. We are all dry. We're going to keep it dry as we head through the next several days, and as we head on into Sunday, that's when we finally bring in that next chance for some showers. This is not going to be anything heavy though. Rainfall amounts for most areas are going to stay around less than 1/10 of an inch of rain. No thunderstorms expected for us on Sunday. As we head on into Monday and Tuesday, it gets a little cooler with high temperatures only in the upper 40s each day.
Clear traffic for you this morning. Let's take a quick look outside 65 Trinity on the north side. As you can see, traffic moving along. Listen, how do you know it's a holiday in Nashville? This is how. It's not even this light on the weekends this time of the morning. So it is a light morning out there for 65 Trinity. Good news. Still dealing with that light fog, even though it seems to be getting a little bit better on Vietnam Veterans Boulevard near Conference Drive. We'll continue to keep an eye out there on the roads, let you know if there's anything that gets in your way over the next few minutes. A family-owned trucking business in Thompson Station has turned charitable giving into an art form. You could make the case that Trucking for a Cure spends as much time raising money for others as it does concentrating on its own successful business. Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier has a story in this morning's Ferrier Files.
Giving is wonderful however you do it, but there's something especially impressive when the giving isn't just writing a check, it's raising the money.
It's a big day at the Shoney's in Lebanon. The people at Trucking for a Cure are about to make some local charities very happy. Tennessee Voices for Victims spent years working on a shoestring budget. The two people who did everything forfeited their own salaries to serve victims.
Valerie and I, over the last 10 years, there have been many times we'd look at each other and we'd say, you think God really wants us to be doing this? And then we'd talk a little bit and then we go, yeah, we think God wants us to be doing this work. And, you know.
And then he started opening doors, and this is the biggest door by far that he has opened, by far. I mean, we did nothing to earn this. They just saw the value of the work and were willing to support it.
Trucking for a Cure spends all year putting together an incredible golf tournament, an auction, and casino night out at Montgomery Bell State Park. 7 years ago, they began all this raising $5,000. It has been growing exponentially. This year, they raised $622,000 to be divided among 4 charities they love and believe in. Founder Toby Kemp.
It's definitely my passion. I mean, I run a business too. So when I'm off from that, this is what I want to do. You know, it's nice that our reward, you know, I tell everybody on the board, you know, most board members get paid from other foundations, but our paycheck is here today, joining these people and giving them some money to help their foundation. That's our paycheck. So it's just, makes you want to help them more.
Special Forces Charitable Trust Greenbrier supporting warriors and their families and all of their many, many needs. Rest Stop Ministry supporting women rescued from sex slavery. Scott Hamilton's CARES Foundation funding innovative cutting-edge cancer treatment. And Tennessee Voices for Victims. All given life-changing annual donations. And while Trucking for a Cure has many wonderful partners, this charity is driven by the trucking industry. The men and women who move things across America have been moved to serve, and the people they are serving are so grateful.
These are the salt of the earth. I mean, these are the people that make America run, and they understand the work behind doing that. And I think that's where their generosity comes from, is because they get it very differently than maybe somebody else who was just handed something. They've worked for it, and I think they believe in other people working for it.
Here's the kind of people they are. They gave us a thank you note today. Us a thank you note. When they spend a whole year working on that golf tournament, they're just so gracious and generous and hardworking, and we're very thankful.
How lovely.
There you go.
Oh my goodness.
Talk about a happy Thanksgiving. I'm Dennis Ferrier, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Dennis. When we come back, Brent Luna has got a last check of your forecast on this Thanksgiving Day. Thank you for starting it with us on Fox 17 News this morning.
Girls, please tell me you're...
Well, take a look at this. The tiny turkeys over there in the Williamson County Medical Center dressed up like the Thanksgiving best. This is a tradition that continues with handmade outfits by the folks out there at the Williamson County NICU. So hope they're having a happy Thanksgiving out there in Williamson County.
We'll talk about this 7-day forecast real quick, too. We've gotten through most of the freezing fog potential early this morning, so not going to have to deal with any more of that. As we head on into the weekend, though, that rain chance increases a little bit for Sunday.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving, sir.
Yeah, you too, Justin.
Happy Thanksgiving. American Steel's.
Antibiotic resistance is a growing problem across both veterinary and human medical fields. Two commonly recognized pathogens are MRSA in human medicine and MRSP in veterinary medicine. These infections both arise from the same family of bacteria, commonly referred to as staph infections. With that being said, MRSA is generally a human infection and MRSP is an animal infection. It is very uncommon for a human with MRSA to transmit it to a healthy dog or cat. Likewise, if your dog, or less likely your cat, is diagnosed with MRSP, it would be uncommon for that animal to transmit it to a healthy person. So don't panic if your pet is diagnosed with MRSP, and talk to your vet about best hygiene practices. Connect with us at our station website by looking up For Pets Sake.